Hey, there we are. All right, cool, man. Everything worked out. We're live. We're back. It's been a long hiatus. Status quo for the off season. The Pillaging Podcast, where we all have lives.
Facts,
Bobby,
facts.
Kane, yes. Jay, welcome back, y'all. All the pillagers I see in the chat right now. It's good to see you guys. You guys were here before we were, which is fantastic. To Larry all day, bro, where you been? It's good to see your face in the chat. Not as good as seeing your face at the tailgate, but hey, it's still good to see you. Southside Raider was good. Diego, what's happening? Juice, my man, my neighbors. Juice, we're gonna get you back over here soon. Go get tested, and then you can come visit me, bro. We all tested over here. We got Raiders review in the house. The Diego Lopez once again, Town Business, Raider Rich, Raider Ben, what's cracking, y'all, and more soon to join us. Yeah. Raiders review says that mask is tight. Bobby, where'd you get that mask at?
Oh man, I just happened to swoop this up over at One Nation Fanwear. I mean, man, right. Johnny be having it on live.
Oh, that's right. OneNationFanwear.com.
Oh, snap.
As well as Kane's t-shirt, rocking the official Pillaging Just for Fun tee. I got the hat to match. We should link up. Well, I guess before we get into introductions, that's a good segue, Bobby. Make sure you visit OneNationFanwear.com for the greatest gear in the nation. The hottest face covering in Raider Nation is back in stock. You see Bobby modeling it. That's a first run. They were out of stock for a while. They are now back in stock. Just reminding you all, production times are limited. That's only due to the COVID-19 situation right now. So if you guys have put in an order and you haven't gotten an update yet, trust you will get that order. If it does not go through, that's based on your credit card purely. Please leave my man Johnny alone. He's working hard over there. You will get your order.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Once the order is processed, it's really up to the print house. There's really nothing he can do for you. Just sit tight. It will come. I've had orders come in 3 to 5 days. I've had orders take a few weeks.
It took about a month for me to get mine, so it's taking a while. Yeah. Just be patient. It'll come.
Yep.
And that's what it is right now. They are doing the social distancing in the warehouse.
I have to add one more thing to this face mask. As a person that wears glasses all the time, one thing that I hate about all the other face masks is that your glasses start fogging up really bad. And especially for me, like I said, I need my glasses. I need to be able to see. And so to be able to have this mask on, dude, it's actually pretty damn breathable, man. I really, really dig it, man. So shout out, Jenny.
It's not hurting your voice either. It's not messing with the tone of your voice at all.
Not at all.
Like sometimes you have to pull the mask away from your face to kind of get a clear voice. Yours is you're pretty clear there, bro. So
still got that golden voice, that cilantro voice, bro.
Oh man, I can't bust out with those tones anymore, dog. Those tunes anymore, man. I'm gonna start hurting feelings, bro.
Those of you that don't know, we uncovered on the last Crow's Nest podcast that Bobby's got a secret life as an R&B artist named Cilantro. So congratulations on your music career, bro. Hopefully you get it back. C-Lantro. So again, shout out to Nick Lujan, Roland Dubs in the chat, Lizette in the chat. If there's any newcomers in the chat, let us know. We'll make sure you properly baptized for the Pillaging experience. Quick shout outs before we get started. Once again, thanks to everyone that's been donating during this time. I know it's been real rocky for us up and down. We're doing the best we can to get you the best show every week. We've missed a few weeks. The good news is we got a lot of material for you tonnite. It's going to be a long one. Hopefully y'all can hang in there. Shout out to Jalen Davenport, Daryl Padilla, Mr. D-Man, Mark Soto, and a bigly shout out to my man Bobby Wasabi for the mega donation. You really didn't have to go that hard though, bro. You work here, dog. Like you and Kane have been financial contributors to the show, and that does not go unlooked. So thank you guys. You already contribute enough as it is on air. If you'd like to donate to the show, head over to paypal.me/PJ4F. That's paypal.me/PJ4F. Or you can donate via the cash icon right here on the YouTube chat if you are watching live. And if you are, we thank you very much. We hope everybody had a safe and sane 4th of July. It was wild out here. It was like a war zone. I saw the pictures from East Oakland. I saw Compton. It was wow. I woke up this morning and Compton was trending on Twitter. I was like, uh-oh. And then I was like, okay, it's fireworks. That's good.
Hey, man, we in the Wild Wild West, baby. We're in the Wild Wild West. For real.
Those are facts.
Man, back in the day, there was like always a few cats with some illegal fireworks, but now the whole neighborhood got them. I don't know where they're getting them from, but damn,
hey, they're getting it from the backpack boys in Chinatown, man. You know what I'm saying? That's been a thing since I've been a young kid going over to Chinatown. You find the little dudes. If you want more than they got in their backpack, they take you to their van and hook you up. You could be selling fireworks on the streets of Oakland yourself as an firework entrepreneur.
see, Kane knows what's up, man, because he was traversing all those streets on Canal Street over there, yo. You know, hitting up all the vendors. Kane knew who to hit up, so he knows what's up about all these fireworks and them backpack boys out there and shit.
And beautiful segue once again. That's our latest endeavor. You guys can check us out. Find us in the coming months in Las Vegas as the Pillaging Podcast opens up its own roadside fireworks stand.
Pillaging just for fireworks.
That's how we're gonna try to get one ticket this season.
Oh man, so that would be wild, man. And that, you know what, that would not be out of character for us. So
no, not at all. Not at all.
I'm only half joking. So
fireworks show provided to you by Pillaging just for fun.
Yeah.
Stream us on YouTube Live.
It's gonna be a blast. But yeah. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's get this thing cracking by cracking up with some cold ones. I know the boys here got some cold ones in the house.
You know. So
yeah.
You know, it's been because we go off and on with these hiatuses and whatnot. We were hoping to be back in the studio, by the way. Of course, things got a little crazy again. And so we all decided, you know what, let's get tested. So that way we know when we do return to the crow's nest, everyone's clear and we're good. Mm-hmm. And we're not, you know, setting anybody back. So here we are on Zoom again, but we got these chelas that have been sitting just waiting to be brought to you guys. This right here is the definitive brewing company. It's called Float, and it's a double IPA, okay? And this bad boy is coming in, let's see, at 8%, okay? And let's crack this open.
Oh, that's a good crack.
Yeah. This pours out.
You know, I should have grabbed one. I still got beers down in the cooler, the Raider cooler from yesterday. But you know what? I don't have anything we haven't reviewed yet. I went to the store to buy a new beer, and I was with my lady, and I was like, damn, I've tried every single one of these beers.
That's why, hey, man, it's tough, bro. You can't just roll up into the store no more and find something you've never had before, because we went strong during the season, fam. We went strong during the season. That cooler is things of it has stuff of legendary, like it's legendary, that cooler, bro. People were taking pictures with that. But here we go. This is the first taste, right?
Oh, that is thick. That looks like unfiltered apple juice.
Right?
That's that Giz ditch.
Oh,
ooh, shit. That's popping. Oh, yo, so this is delicious. Like, you ever heard Ches say he dislikes a beer, though? Come on. Let's be real. This is delicious, though. I'm not lying. This has got some, like, it packing a lot of citrus flavor, bro. It's almost like, it leaves like a tingle on your fucking tongue. Like a tingle on the tongue, bro. That's how, like, I don't know. It's got like almost like an effervescent kind of sensation to it. I'm digging it.
Last time I had a tingle on my tongue, I got tested. It wasn't for coronavirus. I'm just saying.
Save that for the crow's nest. Tune in to the crow's nest next week for the rest of that story. Yo, this is delicious, man. This is the first time I've ever had a beer from a definitive brewing company, and I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for more of these beers, man. Very citrusy. It's got a good balance of hops, malt, not overpowering in any area, and it's just super flavorful, man. And you can see it. You can just see it. You can tell just in the color, like it's just got a rich flavor, man. I'm digging this a lot. A lot.
No,
shout out.
That looks good. That almost looks like a Hefeweizen, man. That's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks good. We had the hen house juiced goza yesterday that Bobby left in my fridge. Thank you very much. We had some Pacificos because we were eating tacos and it was hot. And we had some Ace Brewing pineapple cider, which if you like cider, I highly recommend. Very sweet though. And then we finished the night with the Enter Night by Stone Brewing, 24-ounce cans at the very bottom of the cooler. Cold. I might have to go grab one of those on principle. Maybe I'll hit it at the break. Who's right below me? Bobby Wasabi, you right beneath me. What are you sipping on, bro?
I got me. Bam, some of that almanac right there. Hell yeah, the future is fluid, and it's actually a West Coast IPA, and I do love me some West Coast IPA because they're pretty damn crisp. And not only that, I got this in my my big ass cup because I got tired of pouring my beer into a 12-ounce cup and then just like it's like, dude, this is a tall boy, man. I have too much space left over. So
that's like when you get the milkshake at the diner and they got to bring you the big silver cup next to your glass because you had the extra. Yeah. All right. What's the review?
Definite. Your traditional West Coast IPA. Got that little bitterness from the mosaics, but damn, dude, it's definitely citrusy. Let me see. I don't even know what the hell the percentage is on this right here. It's actually pretty smooth. Can't even find it, honestly. But all I know is that it's good in the hood, and I highly recommend it. Bam.
Kane, I know you got the standby. You're the one that keeps us grounded. What are you drinking?
Hey, man, I'm just drinking regular old Miller High Life, baby. Champagne of beers.
Ain't nothing regular
special tonight.
Champagne. Yeah. You shake it up and spray it all over the living room like
it's actually quite a good beer. It's better than Budweiser, better than Coors.
It is. No, for sure it is. Miller High Life's a good ass drinking beer, man. You could just get it cold and drink the shit out of that, man. That's good beer. I'm not too proud to say that. Nah. Never lose your roots, man. In fact, when we win the Super Bowl this year, after our 2-game regular season, I suggest we all get some champagne goggles and crack open some High Lives.
That'd be dope.
We should do that. We should do that for sure, man.
I know, right?
Before we leave this segment in the cooler, I will say the craft brew revolution is in full effect. I saw a soccer mom buying a 12-pack of Bat Squatch, and I was like, yeah, okay. All right, Debbie. Get it. All right, Debbie. Pull the minivan around front, and we'll join you.
It's crazy shit, dog.
She must have tuned into the Pillaging Podcast, bro.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's that Bat Squatch.
That's that Bat Squatch.
Kenny and Chad were talking about that.
Shit, speaking of that, the ladies at the store where I go to, grocery outlet, man, I pull up there with a beer on the I put a beer on the thing, and they'll be like, no, you want to go get this one. This one is the one that's good right now. It's on sale. It's like, damn, y'all some brewery max up in here. You know what I mean? Y'all got me going back getting the other kind. So it is popular, man. And they be like, oh, I drunk this one. You know, they got their little reviews and shit. Yeah, it's just popular. It's popular.
I will say it's kind of crazy because we recycle at the curb. Well, we bring all the cans to the recycling center, and we got a lot of these craft brew cans that are in there, and the guys at the recycling center will pulling all those out and keeping them for themselves, the empty cans. So I don't know, maybe they got a label wall at home too, but
maybe cheaters, cheaters, bro. Come on, bro, you didn't even drink them. Taste them.
It's more. See, that's more people listen to the Pillaging Podcast. They're like, hey, look, the guys are peeling these off. Yo, I should get on that.
You don't even know, bro. These guys are secretly listening. They're like, this is the crow's nest right here. We're about to pick up Kenny Stapler's cans right now. Hey. We gotta see what they're drinking so we can go find these.
Let's go pillage Kenny's garbage cans.
Right, I know. The Pillaging Podcast, it's a worldwide phenomenon. And shout out to the internet, because I saw today that in one of the aggregators, we are actually ranked number 2 Raiders podcast in the entire world. So that's a big shout out to all you guys, man. That has nothing to do with us. That's all the listeners, all the pillagers out there putting us on the map. So shout out to you guys, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Scott Bear.
That's a really big honor. That's a really big honor.
Scott Bear, we're coming for that number 1 spot, though. You know, number 2 ain't it. We're happy.
No one plays for second place, bro. No one plays for second place.
Coming for that blue tie. That's who got your blue headphones, Che. Got blue headphones on right now, dog. I ain't never gonna let you give that down, bro.
It's all good.
Damn,
I don't even know where those headphones are anymore.
Number 2 in the world, man. Fuck, I'm humble. Number 2 in the world.
In the world, Craig.
In the world, yeah. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. And then really quick, shout out to the Ladies of Darkness. 2/3 of the crew, Heidi and Angria, stopped by the Crow's Nest here on their way back to Alaska. Kevlar Prom Dress, you know her as. Also Heidi from the Only Nation podcast and the Ladies of Darkness. She's relocating from Fresno all the way up to Alaska. They were nice enough to make a segue and stop over here. I cooked them some dinner, showed them the Crow's Nest, chopped it up. Those ladies know their football. That's all I got to say. It was really cool, man. We had a chance to meet Angria a couple years back. Met Heidi. She's just like Angria, exactly who she is, on the screen as she is in person. So 2 very solid individuals. And I tasked them, I said, y'all live together now. Ain't no more excuses. I want to see some episodes coming out.
That's right.
They're going to be, once they get moved in, they're going to be situating and actually building their own little podcast nook there in the house. And so look for some quality content from the LOD coming soon. But in the meantime, again, check out Heidi and Raider Homer on the Only Nation podcast. And you could check out Angry Trask's writing now for Silver and Black Today. So she's joined their team over there as well. Silver and Black Today, a pretty good little stable of writers over there coming together. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. And then shout out to Loyal Pillager Damage Incorporated, who's not here right now. He's got work tomorrow, but we want to give you a shout out. You'll hear this on the replay. Shout out to you and your lady. 7 years of marriage and 29 total years of enjoying life together. Hey, love to see it. Congratulations, guys. Truly remarkable.
Salute.
Cheers to y'all. Cheers you with this one and the beer I'm going to get later because that's coming. But if I drink it right now, I'm just going to sweat the whole thing out. It's now about 88 degrees in the Crow's Nest. If you hear a little background noise, I do have a fan sitting right here next to me. So that's my biggest fan right here.
Number one fan.
Number one fan. All right, tonight's show.
That matters.
right now. Hell yeah. Tonight's show, we got your COVID update. That's going to be a bulk of the first segment. We have a lot of information about the COVID update, and we will kind of touch on the MLB and the NBA too, because those are 2 sporting leagues that are actually back and doing it. NASCAR as well, but that's very much apples and oranges. You're in cars and stuff, and shout out to them, man, because they still have a lot of logistics to manage with their crews and all that. And I'm a NASCAR fan. Y'all may not be, so I understand that. We won't talk about NASCAR. We're going to be talking about the Allegiant Stadium blackout test. It's a blackout test. Come on, man. We passed that.
We black out every stadium, bro.
The title of the stream is confirmed. The Raiders are the greatest team of all time. We're going to tell you why and how that was determined. We'll be going over the Groat vote a little bit. We're going to make some kind of changes to that to get caught up. Hopefully y'all won't be mad. I think we're going to handle that well. And then we're going to put it right back in your hands after we're done with the first round. We've got a lot of complaints that these first round matchups are no brainers anyway. So we'll just run through them. If you're in the chat, voice your opinion, feel free. If we get something wrong, be sure to let us know. Raiders O-line is good, but are they the best? Shay's going to let us know at the end of the show tonight. And then if we have time, we'll hit your calls. I don't know. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to try to get there, but we are back, and we're happy to be back. We're happy to see you guys back with us as well. But before one more piece of business, we got a big special giveaway. We've been teasing this for a long time. Che, show them what you got.
Show them what you're working with.
Yo, so this piece has been floating around. I've been teasing it for months now. This completed piece of the legendary Bo Jackson. This is our giveaway, y'all. Okay. A lot of y'all have been actually responding to some of the posts that I put on Twitter. Wanting to find out how you could own a piece of work, a piece of art from me, and I'm like, this is it right here. Here's your opportunity. Okay, this is a giveaway. I'm giving this away to one of our listeners. Okay, and it's very, very, very easy. Very easy way for you to be in the running for this piece right here. Okay. So let's kick the actual rules to this contest. So real quick, next week, okay, on next week's show, you're gonna need to tune in the next week's show live on YouTube. Okay, you're gonna have to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and then you need to take a screenshot of you in the chat, listening to the show, watching the show on YouTube. Okay, you're gonna post that on Twitter or IG. You're gonna tag us, and you're gonna use the hashtag PJ4F. Okay, all caps, PJ4F. The entries will be randomized, and we will be selecting a winner, and we will announce the winner on air when we resume the broadcasting. Okay, the following week. So next week's show, that is the key. Now, the reason why we did that and we didn't do today's show is because we know that there's a lot of listeners that listen to the playback. Okay, and we know that this is still going to hinder some of you, but if you guys really want to get this piece, then I think you'll find the motivation to even be in it for a second, right? So we want y'all to win this, man. We want to give everybody the opportunity. Guys that are on IG, people that are in the blog, people that are on Twitter, we want everybody to have the same chance. And we thought this is the best way to make sure that even our longtime listeners have a chance at this, right? It's not about new subscriptions only. It's about everybody. So we want to make sure that we give everybody the opportunity to win this and not just be about who's our latest subscriber or whatever. You got something to say, Ken?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're not on Twitter and you're not on IG, I respect that. You don't have to be there. If you want to, go ahead and email us. The email address is pillagingjustforfun@gmail.com. That's pillaging just the number 4 fun. And I'm going to put it on the screen right now for you guys on YouTube. If you go to pj4f.com on the sidebar, or if you're on your phone at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a contact us section, and the email address is right there. So pillaging just the number 4 fun@gmail.com. Excuse me. If you don't have social media, go ahead and hit us up there. All right. Hit us up there, but use the hashtag PJ4F on social media. That's how we're going to find these posts. The 4 of us, we don't live on Twitter. We're not on there 24/7. So I'm going to search that hashtag. We're going to put all the entries into a randomizer, and everything else Che just told you. And I'll be damned if that's not a photograph of Bo Jackson. That thing looks like it's going to jump off the damn canvas and attack me right now.
And hit you in the mouth.
It's going to run right through me. Vince in the chat said, "Hey, look, it's my Bo Jackson painting." So Vince feeling real confident.
I like the confidence, Vince. I like the confidence, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, so get on there. Y'all been warned, okay? This is your warning, okay? So make sure you are here next week so you could be sure to be in the running for this piece. A lot of time spent. This is very heartfelt. Okay, I want to make sure that if we were going to do a giveaway, we don't do very many of them. I want to make sure you guys were getting something that you won't get anywhere else. Okay, this is straight from my hands to yours. So good luck, people. Good luck.
And it's something nice too, man, because originally I was actually going to pitch the idea of giving away a bag of air from the crow's nest. You know, you just go like that real quick and just seal it up. And it's like, dude, you have air from the spot where the boys make it happen right there. But you know, this Che had a better idea, so we
also considered an ice cube from the tailgate ice chest. You know, and so we also considered one of the Pocky chips that Bobby so famously has gotten many fans with, but we decided, no, you know what, this might be the better route. Let's go with the painting. Yeah.
And we will post a nice photo of that on social media if you want to.
Absolutely, nice and we will make sure to post the rules again to social media, IG and Twitter, so that way, in case you guys didn't get it, if it was too fast for you, you guys can be sure that you have all the details, man.
So make sure you're following us at Pillaging Pod. Yeah. That's a funny comment, Tulare all day. That's a funny comment. I will not repeat that on air, but that is funny. We ain't gonna start none, but if somebody does, hey, don't start none, won't be none. That's my motto.
Won't be nothing.
Okay. That's exciting. Let's get into this, man. It's time for some real football talk. Once again, that was a long setup, guys, but hey, got to do it, right?
That's how it goes out here, bro.
Got to do it. Right?
That's how we do it, though.
All right, let's go with this COVID update. COVID update in other sports, NBA and MLB. So first off, let's look at a couple sports that are already doing it. The NBA season is set to resume on July 30th or July 28th, and all participating teams will be contained in the league's bubble down in Orlando, Florida. That means no fans, everybody underneath a tent, basically. Teams will arrive in Orlando from July 7th to July 9th and will be tested for coronavirus. After a brief quarantine period and 2 negative tests, at least 24 hours apart, players and coaches will be allowed to start group activities. I like the redundancy. I like the multiple tests. I like everybody quarantined and sectioned off. That's pretty cool. Any player that misses a COVID-19 test on one of the 2 days prior to traveling to Orlando will not be able to commute with his respective team on its scheduled date from July 7th to 9th. And there's actually more on that. If you're going to drive yourself or you're going to fly yourself in, you have to do so on your own dime, and you will be subject to additional testing, one additional round of testing once you fly. So you'll be tested before you travel and once again after you travel. And if you're traveling on your own, you will be tested again and again. So that's interesting too. I like that. It's a nice fail-safe. If a player cannot travel with the team, then he will have to register 3 consecutive negative COVID-19 tests before being cleared to commute. So that's, again, what I just said. Players will be participating in several scrimmages before playing 8 seeding games, which will determine the playoff bracket. Once the brackets are set, 16 teams will play an amended playoff schedule, with the finals ending no later sometime in October. Very interesting format for the NBA, but I like it. It's concentrated. The NBA competition is fast, and it's tight, and it's exciting. And it's almost like you're getting an extended 8-game playoff with this. And Shay, I was trying to find more information on this, but maybe you're a big NBA fan. I saw that the playoffs are a little bit different. It's like single elimination, and there's some double elimination games. It actually could be kind of exciting.
This is for seeding, right? So it's coming back. And they're doing like a single elimination, I guess, playoff for seeding, and then the actual playoffs will be a little bit different. I think I'm assuming, but
that's what I'm saying. In the actual playoff tournament, there will be single and double elimination. It's not going to be best of 7 games like it usually is in the past. So, if I read that right, I'm not sure.
I don't know. You know what? I would have to do more research on that. From what I had understood is there was going to be kind of basically a playoff to determine seeding. And so that makes sense that it would be a one-off because, you can't have playoffs, NBA playoffs, and just be one and done, son. Like, that's just not how it works, Anybody has a bad day. The Lakers lost the first fucking game to the Sixers in the NBA Finals. If it was one and done, come on now.
I know. It's rough.
They would have routed, but it happens like that in other sports, but that just doesn't work in sports like basketball and baseball. Football is different, man.
And one other note on that, there are several players already testing positive. You got other players that are opting out. Some that were coming back from injury are just going to take this condensed season, some extra time to heal up. And then you got fully healthy players that are opting out basically for their own well-being and the health of their family. They made a business decision and they're going to sit out. So put a pin in that, because that's going to come back around later when we talk about the NFL. Right after this, the MLB has agreed to a 60-game schedule, and there's a lot of politics around that, but they finally arrived at 60 games. That's set to begin at the end of this month. Spring training has already begun. Not really spring training, but training games. Summer training games have already begun, I guess we can call it. Teams are currently participating in a bridge training period. In order to mitigate travel, the schedule would include 10 games for each team against its 4 divisional opponents, along with 20 games against the opposite league's corresponding geographical division. For example, the AL East will play the NL East, and so on. A separate injury list will exist for players who have tested positive for COVID-19. And already, once again, several players in both leagues have tested positive, in addition to several players opting out in the MLB for the same reasons as the NBA. Now, moving on to the NFL, we've seen the Hall of Fame game has been canceled. And then just, I think, yesterday, they announced 2 more preseason games have been canceled. The Raiders will be playing versus the Seahawks and the Vikings in the preseason. Do I have that right, Kane? Seahawks and Vikings? Is that our opponents now?
Yep.
Yeah, Seahawks and
Yep.
Vikings. Interesting choices. The Vikings, I want to say, are nearby, but they're going to have to travel. So that's what it is. Or we'll have to travel. I'm not sure if those are away or home. I didn't look far enough into that. The NFL's already canceled the first 2 games, which could be a foreshadow of more things to come. Furthermore, the NFLPA, Players Association, has voted to cancel the preseason in its entirety. The NFL is maintaining that the Players Association does not have the authority to make this change, but the PA disagrees, considering this is an alteration of their work schedule. As workers in this league, in a union, they do have a right to make these demands. And it was put up to a vote, and it was pretty much unanimous. They want to eradicate the preseason games altogether. Even more so that it's happening as a result of the pandemic. This is not a labor dispute. This is not a money dispute. This is really a health and well-being dispute. So things are getting interesting over there. And then earlier today, it was reported that the NFLPA has also requested to cancel 11-on-11 drills in training camp and practice. Additionally, the NFLPA is requesting to limit or modify other training activities that could facilitate the spread of the virus. Right now, the NFL is committed to starting training camp July 28th and the regular season starting September 10th on time. So like I said, put a pin in that, players opting out. You're seeing already a lot of dysfunction, or I wouldn't say dysfunction. You're seeing the players in opposition to the owners, and this is nothing new in the NFL, right? You got the owners cashing in big time on everything these players do, and there's a lot of politics involved in that. I mean, real deep politics, and we can go really far into that, but we won't right now. We've talked about that a little bit in the past, and we'll talk about it in the future as this moves forward, especially with all the social events that are happening in America right now. It's all tied together, folks. The NFLPA has a lot of power, maybe not as much as it needs, but I understand where they're coming from. A lot of folks are concerned. And right now in the NBA, MLB, and the NFL, these players have a lot of unanswered questions going into this. This is really all about the money. I know as fans, we want our sports back. As a nation, we want it back. It galvanizes us as people. It's one thing that a lot of us can agree on when we're inside a stadium as fans together. Everything else goes out the window. And yes, I agree that is very healthy for a nation. That is very healthy for a community. But when we're talking about a pandemic, there's other forms of help that we also have to consider. And the owners, they're not trying to push these games out for our sake, right? This is all for monetary gain. So Kane, talk about that a little bit. You had mentioned it in the pre-show conversation. The vote was up. 32 owners voted on eliminating the first 8 rows in every stadium and selling advertising. Talk about that. What's the news on that and how it relates to the Raiders, Kane?
Well, first of all, I don't think we should have a season. And I know a lot of fans probably are against that. I agree with you. You said we need football. We do. We need football to galvanize the country. We need football. Football may help bring some accord back to the community a little bit, so to speak. But at the same time, you have to think smart and not selfish. That's been my whole statement or my quote since this whole thing started. Think smartly, not selfishly. And so if you're thinking smart, and we already got, you want to, cancel roles. You want to stop the preseason. You want to play a half a season. You don't want to, you got all these questions, these demands, the players unsure about how to go forward, may want to go forward, but unsure. There's just a lot of uncertainty. And in all contact sports right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. And I just feel like to keep everybody safe, because that's what we're trying to do, right? We want everybody to be safe, not just the players, but the coaches who are a lot of older than 65, the TV staff, the behind the scenes people, these people that just have normal everyday lives that's not making millions of dollars. You're putting those people's lives in jeopardy by forcing us to have a season. I just don't see it. But with that being said, okay, if you're going to have a season, I guess you got to have some advertising, right? Somehow. So if you're going to sell advertising in the first 8 rows, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but I'm just opposed to having a season period. So I don't even want to talk about any kind of thing that has to do with having a season. I'm opposed, totally against it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's one man in the owner's room that was very much opposed to this, and that man is Mark Davis. Mark Davis is livid about this, and for all the right reasons. People have a lot of criticisms of Mark Davis and what he thinks of us as a fan base. I've kind of wavered back and forth on that, but after learning a lot of things about Mark and the city of Oakland, I actually have some respect for Mark Davis. I have a lot of respect for Mark Davis. I think he's a lot smarter than he looks, for one. I think he's pretty savvy, and I think he actually does give a damn about this fan base because he knows what this fan base is all about. It's the greatest fan base in all of sports. He's pissed off. He's got, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of seats are in those first 8 rows all around that brand new $2 billion state-of-the-art stadium that he needs to gain revenue off of. But those folks are ass out. And those people, took a second mortgage out on their house just to buy these tickets. A lot of those people are traveling hundreds of miles just to get to the stadium. Some of them 1,000 miles or more to get to the stadium. Folks that can barely afford these. Folks that started GoFundMe campaigns just to get these tickets, right? And now, where are they to sit? They're going to get pushed back. I was talking to Gent earlier in the day, and he was like, the people that are going to be ass out are the ones with the cheap seats. And you know what? Those people matter too, man, because I've been a cheap seat buyer for many, many years. Kane and I, every away game we go to, we're way up there. Mile High Stadium, shit, we was
mile high.
Hey, to be fair, we were a mile high before we walked in that motherfucker. Hey. But man, we're out there, and every seat matters. So, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Is it all or nothing, or what is it? But it's just interesting that the NFL is so quick to move away from those seats and sell advertising when Mark Davis, and we haven't heard the ideas, but Mark Davis and his team say that they have some creative ideas around that. I'd have to venture a guess that putting plexiglass walls up around there, much like a hockey rink has, would be a good solution for something like that, rather than selling advertisement to Bud Light. But
I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's a reach, bro. It's a reach for a money grab. That's all it is. And I hate to keep repeating this, but I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna hammer it home. Think smartly, not selfishly. And if you're thinking smart, you're not gonna have a season. You're not. It's too much. There's too many questions. Too many questions. And then also to make a point to what you're saying about the fans, the stadium, the seating. Mm-hmm. You're not being fair, because you know what you're going to do? Everybody that bought a suite, everybody that bought the suite level seats, everybody that bought those expensive ass seats, they are the ones that's going to be sprinkled throughout the stadium. And everybody that bought $1,000 PSL will either be refunded their money or sitting back home. Now, me personally, if I went out and I bought $1,000 PSL and you told me that you were going to have games and I couldn't come, I want my money back. I'm telling everybody that owns $1,000 PSL, if they do this to you, demand a refund of your money. I don't care how much you love the Raiders and you want to go to these games. Let the NFL know I'm a fan, and everybody deserves to come to these games, not just the rich, not just the famous, everybody. And if everybody can't come, shut this shit down, period. That's how you got to do it, man.
Well put, because you know what? Everybody gets screwed in this, even the folks with the money. If I bought a front row seat and now I'm sitting in row 9, I could have pocketed $15,000 or whatever it is and sat in row 9 to begin with. Now I'm paying first row prices to sit, wherever you're going to put me. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Fact is, I couldn't afford a single ticket right now if you ask me, but I'm still pissed off for the rest of y'all, because I know a lot of you all out there, man.
And who's going to get put up in the higher seats? Even if you have an expensive seat and they trickle it out to where your seat wasn't too expensive, that you got to now be sitting way up in the 3rd or 4th level when you weren't even in that level to begin with. You're pissed off. You're not a happy fan. Just to be inside of a stadium, you've lost money on an investment. The NFL has to look at this totally.
That's why I feel like the NFL actually dropped the ball on this one, because I like the idea how they were talking before about the training practices and all that. Like, hey man, like if for some reason one team can't enter their training facilities, no one's allowed to enter their training facilities. Try to create it equally across the board. When they were talking about the possibility of it all depends on the state and the county as far as how many fans are going to be there. It could be from 0 to a full stadium. And from there, it's not even going to be a full stadium. Who we're talking about, it's going to be the first 8 rows that are taken up, and who knows what that's going to be all about. So if anything, they should have just kept it like Kane said, man. It should have just been the same all the way across. No fans. Everybody get no fans at all. You know, people get their cash back or whatever. I know it's a money grab. They try to, you know, cover up their losses and whatnot. But at the same time, I mean, what makes more sense? To try to keep a fan happy that will come back and drop that cash year after year, or just to burn people after 1 year just because you want to create a couple little extra dollars just because, you know, for the first 8 rows or whatever.
Yeah. You know, and Mark knows how mad his fan base gets, right? You got a quarterback that had his statistically best season of the year last year, and look at everybody, you know, look at us. You know, we feel mad. So in the meantime, teams are working to add more preventative measures to the facilities, including newly designed face masks and reduced training camp rosters, which is, again, going to further hurt the team. And the NFL, just to let you know, this is about money. And I don't completely disagree with this, but the NFL has considered mandating fines for players that test positive and potentially spread the virus after circulating in public. So if you test positive and it was found out that you were out there partying, they're going to fine your ass. So there's no mandated quarantining, but should a player decide to enter the public and end up contracting the virus, there could be penalties involved. This is an interesting way to encourage self-regulating behavior. And like the NFL does with everything, they're going to hurt your pocketbook. That's their way of dealing with things. So, you know, and it's the same way at a regular job too, right? You might get suspended without pay, and that's what it is. So I don't completely disagree with that, but, you know, follow the money.
I got one word for that. I got one word for this whole situation. Clusterfuck.
Absolutely.
One word, clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's FUBAR, bro. It is FUBAR, man. Let's read a quote from Mark Davis before I move on with this. We'll leave you with his exact words in case you question our credibility over here at Pillaging Podcast. Oh, shut up. Shut up, fuck. You're trying to force that down my throat. Damn. I'm sorry I'm on this website. It's the only one that had the good quotes.
That's Kenny's shower music, everybody. That's his shower playlist right there.
While that might be true, it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence.
Where's your rubber ducky at, bro?
Got myself a Raider rubber ducky. Anyway, so this is what Mark said. He said, I can't imagine telling one fan they cannot attend the opening game of our inaugural season in Vegas at the most magnificent stadium that they helped to build, let alone tell 3,500 fans that their seats are gone for the entire season, he said, according to ClutchPoints.com report. Those seats in the front rows are some of our most ardent fans, including members of the famed Black Hole. You think I want to sell advertising on their seats? And then he goes on. He says, creativity will be necessary. One of our executives came up with a solution, one in which Las Vegas will be familiar, but the league shot it down dismissively. But we're not ready to give up yet. We will do everything we can to see that all our fans are able to attend every game this season. And this is and then he leaves off by saying, you can keep players from the fans, but you can't keep players from the players. That could be our Achilles heel. Without some form of bubble, we may be asking for trouble. So with that quote is interesting because Mark Davis is also telling you, for me, it's not just about ticket sales. If we're really serious about this, put the whole league in the bubble and fuck off all the tickets. We all hurt. Everybody hurts. The owners hurt. The fans hurt. But at least our health has a good chance of staying solid. And so Mark Davis doubled down right there. And I like that he finished off with that because that tells you where his head's at. If you're going to fill seats, fill them. Fill them with the people that paid for them. And if you're not, then shut them down, just like Kane said. So for the first time in your life, Kane, you're on the same page as Mark Davis. I want to say congratulations. You guys can finally
I like
agree.
that too much.
But hey, man, it is what it is.
Hey, but you know what? They're going to still get the TV money, bro. If they do the TV thing with no fans, you still going to get the billions of dollars you get from the TV. Stop being fucking greedy. And then also stop putting, and I know I'm being repetitive, stop putting people's lives at danger. I want to go to a game hella bad. Everybody on this fucking panel wants to go to more than one game in 2020. We would love to go to all the games. But I want to go to them at the expense of dying possibly after going to a game. I don't, I'm not 25 anymore. And there's a lot of fans that's not 25 anymore. Yeah. You're just putting a lot of people's health in risk, man.
There's a lot of old school fans out there for the Raiders, bro. I mean, we don't give up on this team. There's a lot of folks out there. My dad, he's like 76 years old, I think 75 years old. So,
as is a lot of the fans,
And I liked your point too about the coaching staff, man. What would Monty Kiffin think about all this if he was still coaching? That dude coached till he was like 175, bro.
Shit, Marinelli got to be in his 70s.
Yeah, Rod Marinelli's up there. You're right. He's up there. He's up there. So, and that's, 32 teams. These staffs are big. You got people that you don't even see on the field. You got cooks, you got trainers, you got medical staff, you got equipment people, you got camera people, audio people, production staff, you got
office people. I mean, it just all goes, it just
big.
It'll just roll downhill. You can just fuck up a whole. You can do a lot of damage.
Yeah. And look at the LA Rams in that $5 billion stadium that they can't afford. They have an entire NFL Network studio in that bitch. And so it's a lot more people. That's a lot more people in-house. So it's really interesting. I don't know where you are, our listeners, where you guys are on this COVID thing. I know some people think it's nonsense and all that, and you're entitled to that. But, I mean, I've seen folks firsthand get this, in my family and beyond. I've known people that have passed from this. It's real, man. I don't care what you think about it. My opinion is it's real. I've seen it. I know it's real. I reached out. You can touch it. It's real. It's real. It's real. So I have one more thing to say about this. I didn't have it written down. Oh, yeah. Rumor mill. Rumor has it that the NFL is willing to concede up to 8 weeks of games before canceling the entire season. In other words, the NFL is willing to pause the season until mid-November. Anything past that, they will throw their hands up, but they're willing to go down to an 8-game season. So those conversations have already begun. Got this from a pretty reliable source.
That's a better idea. That's a better idea than starting the motherfucker in September. Sorry to cut you off, Bobby.
No, that's fair. Bobby Wasabi, he already alluded to this when he gave you a season prediction. In fact, he said we were going what, 0-0, right, Bobby?
Nah. Well, actually, that was my original prediction, was 0-0. But after that, I said we were gonna go 5-4. So hey, it's
in a 9-game season. Bobby Wasabi, you heard it here first, yo. Pillaging Podcast.
We don't play.
We ain't playing around.
That's la brujeria right there, bro. It's because that's from my dad's old rancho, bro. From Cheran, shout out.
Yeah.
Well, so we've already seen 3 weeks canceled. If you count that Hall of Fame game as a week, we've seen 3 weeks canceled out the preseason. So they are willing to cut these games, man. They are willing to cut these games. So, and then if that happens, expect another meeting with the Players Association. Should be really interesting. But that's our COVID update for this week. Stay tuned. I think that this stuff can be very fluid as we move forward. It's fluid as the fluid in your lungs. Hey, too soon? Maybe too soon. All right. Before we move on,
you gotta keep it light, bro. We gotta laugh, bro. Times are rough over here, man. There's a lot of anxiety. Laughter is the medicine that cures all.
Hey, you know what? That's true, bro. Laughter is the best medicine. So if you see anybody sick, you just point and laugh at them. It's supposed to help.
Hey, this COVID stuff, I don't know. You can be on both sides of it,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Hey, I'm gonna step away really quick. I'm gonna open up these windows because I see the sun is set on the crow's nest. It is 8:20 p.m. on the West Coast. I'm gonna get some cool air in here. We got that Watsonville breeze blowing through. I see Bobby pouring a chela. I see Che opening up the LeBron Hayes. He about to get that COVID-23. I'm just telling
you. Yo. Hey, go ahead, Bobby. You share yours first, dog.
You know what? I came up with a Anderson Valley Tropical Hazy Sour Ale.
Okay.
And Anderson Valley, they make some pretty good beer. I had no idea. This is the first time I've ever seen them come out with a sour anything at all. And it actually has it's an ale with passion fruit, guava, and coriander.
Okay.
And all I know is that, yeah, man, got that cilantro in there,
Yeah, man, a little bit of cilantro.
I had to throw it in there, dog. And you know what? I've tried this one before, and it is tasty. So if y'all like a sour, it is good in the hood, and it's a crushable too. It's a 4.2. So
there you go.
Bobby got that culinary beer going on over there, huh?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, while your boy Bobby's taking a sip, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you about this bad boy right here. This is that Pariah LeBron Hayes. You see LeBron on the side right there. This is the LeBron Hayes. This is a hazy IPA, and it's a double dry hop with Australian Galaxy hops. Okay, and this bad boy is coming in at 7.5 on the ABV. Because
that's not a beer, mate.
This is a beer. Because that's LeBron's beer, I'm gonna have to say fuck that beer. It ain't got Curry's name on it. It ain't got no Warrior's name on it. I got to say fuck that beer. It looked weak like LeBron too. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, you are entitled to that opinion, my friend. And if it was 2 seasons ago, I'd probably be saying the same thing. And right now, I'm just saying it's all good. It's all good. But let's see if the beer is good. Because if the beer is good, then I'll let it slide. Here we go.
It's good up front, and then it lets you down on the back half.
It's good up front, but it only won 3 championships at the long run. It's been to many finals, but only won 3.
So, hey, this is it's funny because the last one that I just had, the double IPA, wasn't a hazy, but you saw it was real cloudy. It was unfiltered. And it had a lot of citrus taste to it. This is almost like a little lighter version of the one that I had prior to this. So very citrusy on the front. Well, it's all the way through actually, but it's not. The flavor isn't as strong. So balanced. It's not super hoppy. I don't get too much hops. The IBUs are there, but they're not overpowering. It's just it's a well balanced beer. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. I still like the first one. More, but this is like a more subtle version of the first one that I had.
That look like a Hefeweizen too, a wheat Hefeweizen.
But let me recap this. LeBron Hayes, lacks hops, not a lot of flavor. Sounds about right.
That's perfect.
He does lack hops, bro. Hey. He's getting old, bro. This is why I'm so concerned about him. About the playoffs being canceled, dog. I was so concerned about the Lakers, the playoffs being canceled, the NBA being canceled. So I'm like, the Lakers went and did what I didn't want them to do. I didn't want them to get LeBron James. I didn't want
LeBron got 100 games left in him.
But that's what I'm saying. He's getting up there, and his game for the most part has been based off his athleticism, and he's losing that. So you gotta give it to him, man. Because the dude knocks down threes now, and he definitely has improved his game. I'll give him that much. He's improved his game. He's improved in areas where he was weak. But the concern is he's getting older. There's not a whole lot left in him to get these championship runs. So we need to get back to play just so we can try to secure at least one title. You know what I mean? And convince AD to stick around.
Maybe he just needs a wider sweatband, dude, for his hair. Maybe that might bring the game back,
He don't need that, bro. You didn't see that rug that he's got on there? He's got that rug now. As a matter of fact, the sweatband started pulling that shit back one game. Yeah, get rid of that sweatband. That shit was all rolled up back here. Yeah, that shit rolled up. It was all rolled up.
It looked like a sock when you try to take it off.
LeBron got one of these. This is LeBron right here.
LeBron's
bro,
hair.
No, you got LeBron beat, fam. You got LeBron beat because you go back to like 2010, 2011, and he straight had this whole front just missing. It was just like a big cul-de-sac in the making.
Now he got the Merkin. Now he got the Merkin.
Now he's got that Ron Paul Peel fucking sprinkle hair, bro.
He got hair club president for men.
Yeah,
he got hair club president for men.
He got that Merkin. You can Google that. Bobby,
man.
what are you sipping, bro? You're drinking something new.
Oh, you already reviewed it, bro.
I didn't review it, man. That was the one with the coriander, dude. See, that's why the chat is over here wilding out about the coriander, man.
Cilantro again.
Exactly, yo. See Tulare over here saying that coriander is a different kind of cilantro.
Yeah, I had to set him straight though. Coriander is the seed that cilantro comes from, but I fuck with cilantro more than coriander, just for the record.
Hey, but when the time is right, coriander finds its place, bro.
Yeah,
you put that in there. You mix that in there.
Cilantro is some good shit. Cilantro is some fire. That's with the onions. You can't fuck with that on nothing.
Hey, there's some people though, bro, that hate cilantro. Is because genetically they actually taste cilantro like soap.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
It's weird. There's just people. There's some people genetically. Now, I thought people were fucking crazy because I saw this shit, like people talking shit about cilantro on Twitter, and they were like, "This is how you eat a taco." There was no cilantro, there was no onions. I'm like, the fuck out of here, bro! You don't know how to eat a taco.
Hell, they use ketchup or what the fuck? Who was it?
That ain't even a ghetto. That ain't even a ghetto taco shit. A ghetto ground beef taco look better than that.
Yeah, and I was like, get the fuck out of here! Don't tell me about no tacos. You don't know what you're talking about. But apparently, there is just some people that taste cilantro. It tastes like soap to them. And it's just like a genetic taste bud issue, bro. Like, I don't know. It's not an issue for me because I'm Mexican as fuck, and cilantro goes on just about everything.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby, pull us out of this, man. Give us some good news, man.
Oh, man. Well, we over here, getting into cilantro, we're over here, doing a blackout test and an emergency test over at the Allegiant Stadium. Because you know what? Last I heard, I don't know about y'all, but it's at 98% completion. And it is a sweet thing, according to Mick Akers over at Las Vegas Review Journal. He's releasing all kinds of information, all kinds of tests that are going on right now, and one of them was actually the fire alarm, the whole testing and whatnot. So they actually went in there, set off all the fire alarms like when you were a kid in high school, just trying to make it a short day or whatever, and it sounded like a dance hall party for a second because it was empty, nobody in there. All you hear is these alarms going off, and everything was smooth. And then the blackout test, which is basically what they do is in case of an emergency, they got to make sure they can, shut down all the power,
make sure the 49ers come to town and you lose power at halftime.
Oh, I didn't want to say that, but that's right. Niners, we got backup Jennies. Get you guys right there. You don't even know it, but we got those backup Jennies good to go. So, basically everything is set. All these are just tiny tests, the final things to make sure that all the infrastructure works. They've checked all the plumbing already. They've checked in the electrical.
And the plumbing's the first thing they checked, bro.
Oh, dude, that's the major thing because you know why? No more troughs, bro.
No.
Oh man, dude, that's gonna be the best thing ever, man. Because even though that's a very communal experience that you do, being with your fellow Raider fan.
There's nothing communal about that splashback, bro.
There's nothing communal about that. Not only that, you run one hell of a risk if you have anything in your pockets in the jacket. It's dude, that's the last thing that you want going in that drink right there, dude. And that ain't even a drink. That's just sad right there, bro. So,
bro,
yeah, wait, Bobby,
I got caught with that splashback once. I left the stadium immediately. Went home, took 3 showers, bro.
That's why you
got motherfuckers that be up there with their beer cup. They beer cup and they dick out. They don't even be holding. They got their dick out. They ain't even just holding it. Just the beer cup and dick out. Just like, come on, man, put the goddamn cup down, dude.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised I didn't see anybody running out the last game with one of those troughs. Because there's people that love that nostalgic feel. So, I heard people taking off with chairs and with with the Nogginizer beer stands, but I didn't hear no troughs, man. That was the one thing.
Yeah, no one.
That would have been savage as fuck.
Chase right, man. The dick in the wind, beer in one hand, got a loose in the other, trying to get it down, bro. It's a grim.
Just letting it fly, bro. You just gotta let it fly sometimes. Hey, Bobby, so you tell me you didn't enjoy those shoulder to shoulder peas at the Oakland Coliseum, bro? Come on.
Oh, usually I took a shit on that truck. Dog. I never peed on it. That's weird. You want privacy? You take a shit, dude. No one gonna get near you at that point, dog. I mean, your ass is hanging over that thing. Talk about splashback, dog.
Oh man,
It's just all bad, dude.
Bobby be like, hey, anyone could piss on the floor. It takes a real hero to shit on the ceiling.
It takes a real man to shit in the trough.
That's right, dude. Poseidon's kiss right there, dog. But yeah, we had 98% completion, so that's awesome. The last final things, last couple touches. I think the last I heard was that they were trying to do the last couple touches on that Elvis running back mural. So who knows? Who knows what's going on, man?
Just gonna completely get erased because that would be the best touch.
They should have hit up Che. That's all I know, man. As far as those murals are concerned, yeah,
man. Hey, I put it out there, man. They didn't even respond, man. I'm kind of hurt, Raiders. I'm kind of hurt, Raiders.
As far as Elvis in a Raiders jersey,
don't ever do it.
I'm way ahead of the game.
Yeah, you had the first, bro. You do. You have the first.
Right behind me is a painting of Elvis in a Howie Long jersey. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to tweet that out promptly.
Yeah, you got to post that. And that was custom, though. That was custom, too.
That was a commissioned piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my pop's
Shout out
birthday.
to Raider Roy. Shout out Raider Roy.
But I don't know how I feel about it in our stadium.
But I don't want everybody to stay there, Raider Roy. I don't want everybody to stay there.
There's an Elvis one, there's a Wayne Newton one, and there's a Madonna one. And
no. It was
not Madonna.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, she was a Raiderette, I guess, or some shit.
You gonna see some?
Was she?
That's bullshit.
You gonna see some
no.
You gonna see some
according to the mural.
RuPaul looking motherfuckers. What's the Barbara Streisand looking motherfuckers gonna be at the Raiders game now? Watch.
Let me wow.
I guarantee you.
I mean, there was already some Barbara Streisand looking motherfuckers at the Raiders games, bro. You just gotta look more closely. I'm just saying.
Well, don't look at all.
We're talking about looks.
I seen a lot of ladies that look like RuPaul. Oh wait, that was the Chiefs game. My bad.
Oh.
Bang bang.
Bang bang. Bobby, anything else on the blackout test?
Nah, that was basically it right there, man. I'm just happy that we getting that much closer to basically having a new home. No more playing in the dirt. I mean, the only sharing we got to do is with another football team, and they ain't even on our field. They playing.
Hey, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, bro. That's the beautiful thing about it, right?
Exactly, man. Bro. So it's awesome, bro, because it's our home. We have everything there. We have our own Hall of Fame as well as the real athletes that should be in there that have been left out of the Hall of Fame. Fuck y'all. All I gotta say is that it's awesome that we're doing that right there. We have this giant Al Davis flame that will be seen basically throughout the whole desert. I was telling people that it was basically like the Allegiant Stadium has become that black pyramid in the desert. Well, that was 20, 30 years ago. Now it's the Allegiant Stadium, bro. And that's what's going to be bringing all the eyes right there. And then what's going to be bringing the attention is that giant flame right there just shooting down downtown Las Vegas, bro. So I think it's looking very, very nice, man. I can't wait till it actually all comes together, and I can't wait till next year, because I feel like it's going to be next year till we actually be able to go out there and hopefully be able to see a game. And if not, at least just go out there and get wild, you know?
Yeah. And let's start a petition, man, to get those weird celebrity murals down. Let's get some Raider legends up there, and maybe they're coming. Maybe that's coming, maybe. But if not, let's start a petition. Let's get a Jack Tatum mural up there or something, bro. Hey. We looking at got the artist right here, bro.
That's right.
Murals is my thing. Right, these are little. This is like not my norm right here, bro. Like murals is my thing.
That's legit the smallest thing Che's ever painted, and the detail. His hand has been cramped for 3 weeks. That's why we haven't been on air, because he couldn't even log in. My man couldn't even log in.
This is the reason why I'm holding my channel with the left hand, dog, because my hand's been stuck like this for the last 4 weeks, bro.
And one thing real quick before we move on. Listen, the stadium is beautiful. can't make everybody happy. I wish we had open air stadium. I feel like that was our advantage. You practicing in heat right now. You practicing in 100 and some degree heat right now. You need that as an advantage. Right now, you have kind of, I've been watching NFL football shit since 1976. Dome teams have always been that element of the NFL where they're looked at as a disadvantage, as to being a dome team and to playing outside in the elements. We've already had an issue with our quarterback who doesn't play well in cold weather games. So why not bring that same issue to some other quarterbacks that may not play well in hot weather games where our quarterback thrives? So an open air stadium, I'm a little disappointed that it was so quick to be a dome stadium.
And if it was open air, that would legit be like the Fire and Ice Stadium because it's hot in Vegas and then it gets cold as shit.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I would say about that though is that Vegas heat is a different kind of heat. Kenny, we've been there together.
Yeah, it's different. It's 95 here and there it's 120 degrees.
It's a different kind of heat, bro. It's a different kind of heat. And then you talk about winters, it's like Vegas is known for, people know it as a hot ass desert, but the desert gets really fucking cold in the wintertime too. So it would be a rough change of climate, bro. And that's the only reason why I understand why they went with the dome. But I feel what you're saying, bro, because that you're right. There's something about the open air stadiums and the elements that exist in your area that are very different from others that gives you a little bit leg up, right? Because you become accustomed to playing in those elements. When other teams come in, they don't know what the fuck to do in those elements. They've never been there, right? So I feel you though.
A lot of people haven't even been to Vegas. A lot of players haven't even been to Vegas, period. So to go there and to hear that, it's 110 degrees on the field today, and the Raiders players out there doing jumping jacks, 100 of them motherfuckers in 110 degree heat. They don't give a fuck. The other team, that's a very intimidating look for another team to see. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's done. But I thought about it when I looked at the stadium. I'm like, fuck, no retractable roof. Well, at least it did it open air.
I'm with you, Kane. I wanted a retractable roof too, but roof or no roof, I'm still drawing a mustache on Marilyn Monroe. That's going down when I get there. Maybe I shouldn't have put that on air. But hey, it's out there now.
We're shut down. We're shut down already, Kitty. We're shut down.
Ooh, the principal's gonna come over, bro.
I'm gonna ask the three of you to stop your video really quick, and we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna do a little plug, and then we're gonna get right back to it and tell you why the Raiders are the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, boy.
Looking for some official Raiders gear? Which rookie jersey are you sporting this season? Legends or Flesh Blood? Whatever you decide on, be sure to visit onenationsfanwear.com and NFLshop.com. Don't start the season without some fresh, crispy silver and black gear. Head on over to onenationfanwear.com or go to PJ4F.com and click through the NFL shop banner. You get great deals on legit gear, and the Pillaging Podcast gets a piece of gold that helps us stay out at sea. Thank you for your support, and go Raiders. All right, and we're back. Yeah. Go ahead and come on back, boys. There we go. Took a little break, much shorter. We got some criticism that our breaks are too long, but now that there's nowhere to go, hey, here we are.
Except the head, bro. That's the only place we got to go is the restroom.
You get 2 15-minute breaks, man, in a 4-hour period, man. You get 2 15-minute breaks. You got a 4-hour show, we get 2 15s, man.
Hey, that's it. That's if we were getting paid, bro. We're not. Ain't no money being made right now, guys. There's no paychecks coming in yet. Okay.
Kane's right though. We got people complaining, and I'm just trying to stay OSHA compliant over here. But But we gave you a great tease, and I know you saw the title of this stream, this podcast. So I want to let you know that we're not clickbait. We're all about the real. We're all about the facts. And Bobby's going to let you know exactly why the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, were voted the greatest team of all time. Bobby, take it away.
Whoa. According to NFL.com, it was actually a poll that was done back in 2012, but SI went ahead and did a whole little thing about it, is that the 76 Oakland Raiders were voted the NFL's greatest team of all time. And it was basically an online tournament where they were basically head to head with the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. And they basically, by this much, according to the numbers, pulled it off. But in reality, when I was looking at the numbers, it's exactly what I said. Because when I was looking at the numbers, looking at the Hall of Famers and all that, man, we got it stacked, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talking about at least like 8 players on that 76 squad that were Hall of Famers. Not to mention, we also had our coach, John Madden. We also had our owner, and we also had the cat that put up that whole squad together before he took off in 74, Ron Wolf. I mean, so we had this whole team set up. We had Stabler, Art Shell, Gene Upshaw, Dave Casper, Freddie B, Willie Brown, Ten Hendricks, Ray Guy. These are the cats that are actual Hall of Famers. And the players that should have been Hall of Famers, we got Cliff Branch, Jack Tatum, Villa Piano, and Mark Van Egan, dude. And oh my goodness, dude, it's awesome because I just actually seen this game a couple weeks ago. I was bored. I was sitting at home. I had a fresh 4-pack, and I was like, I don't feel like watching, the reruns of freaking The Sopranos for like the 18th time, man. I was like, what the hell am I going to watch? And I was like, you know what?
But they're good. Good.
I'm not knocking them, but I was like, I want to watch something different. And you know what? NASCAR is cool, but it's not doing it for me right now. I'm going to put on a game. And you know what? I'm going to put on a Super Bowl where we actually had one hell of a squad, and that's why I put on that Super Bowl 11 game right there versus the Vikings, what people call the people eaters. But man, dude, this team definitely stacked up, dude. They had it going on, that's for damn sure, dude. They had made it to the playoffs many times before. They had done it at least 3 times, but they just couldn't do it. And they were basically like the team that was known as getting this close but not
couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't get over the hump.
They just could not get over that hump every time. And it was just, a little bit of the tweaking, some changing of the guard that actually went down to just it made the stars basically lined up right there. We had Dave Dalby take over for Jim Otto. I mean, Jim Otto was a Hall of Famer. He was there since the days of the AFL, man. He held it down, dude. So Dave Dalby to be stepping into those shoes and to actually do the job right the way he was supposed to, it was awesome, dude. Dave Casper, he took over for Bob Moore when Bob Moore got shipped over to Tampa Bay because he just wasn't cutting it. Casper was on the squad, but he just wasn't a starter at that. Wasn't a starter, and so when Bob Moore got shipped out, boom, Dave Casper goes up and he does a starting point. And come on, dude, how much stuff hasn't he been known for? The ghost of the post. It's awesome, dude. I mean, he was just right then and there, dude. And not only that too, but because of the injuries that the defensive line sustained, we actually had to switch up our whole setup from going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. And what happened is that we actually had Dave Rowe, who was named nose tackle, and Matuzak, defensive end, come in and help out our main man, the cat from the University of Mars, Otis Sistrunk. So, I mean, dude, we had so much going on at that time. And not only that, with the change of defense, with what was going on the line, you were lucky if you made it past that line, dude. If you made it past the first 7, God help you, dude. There was the Soul Patrol, man. And that Soul Patrol was just ready to collect souls, anybody that ventured out there, dude. I mean, you had Jack Tatum, dude, the hardest hitting man in the business. So you had people scared to go out that way, dude. Old man Willie, nobody wanted to throw that way, dude. I mean, dude, you had George Atkinson, dude. You had, oh my goodness, dude. These cats were making it happen, dude. It was one hell of a team that was going up against a squad that had been there before as well, that they had actually made it all the way out there and were hard hitting. The Vikings were there were no pushovers. That's for damn sure.
They was the bullies. They were the bullies of the league.
They had what was it? They were known as the Purple People Eaters, I believe.
Yeah, they were the bullies of the league at that time in the NFC, and the Raiders was the bullies of the league in the AFC. So you had two bullies going against each other. You thought it would be a closer outcome than that at the end, and the Raiders totally dominated that shit.
The Steelers tried to sue us for hitting too hard. That's all you need to know. All you need to know about that team, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lynn Swan. He tried to sue my boy George Atkinson, who I know personally, and who had Willie Brown as his lawyer. They tried to sue George Atkinson and called him a criminal element.
Well, the funny thing about these,
Lynn Swan got shut down on the field and in the courthouse too. So. That's the big ass Lynn Swan shouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame, bitch ass Lynn Swan.
Exactly what you said. Shut down. What was it that the Pittsburgh Steelers' biggest complaint was about the Raiders about that game? Oh, we didn't have our running backs. Our main man Franco Harris and Rocky Blair weren't there. It's like, dude, that didn't matter, bro. You guys still had Bradshaw. You guys still had Swan, and what happened? Zero, nothing, dude. You guys couldn't pull it off with us because we were hungry and we weren't gonna let nobody make it happen. Not only that too, but the Raiders wanted the Steelers, man. Everybody would have been fine had they actually, been able to avoid them. It's like, nah, dude, you don't want to avoid a team that's actually gonna make you better. Steel, tough and steel, man. And that's what the Raiders wanted. They wanted the Steelers and they wanted to go through them to get to the big dance. And did they make it happen? Hell yeah, they made it happen.
And then you know what? When Franco Harris caught that ball off the ground, that ball touched the ground. That ball touched the ground. The Raiders got cheated on a lot back then. That Al Davis was not liked in the NFL by Pete Rozelle. Al Davis thought he should have been the NFL commissioner. He was the AFL commissioner. So he thought when the two leagues merged that he should be the commissioner. Instead, they gave it to Pete Rozelle, so he goes back to the Raiders. So there was always some beef, amongst the two entities. And we've been suffering shit, man. That shit went all the way to the Pro Bowl. To the Snow Bowl, and shit, man. The Jacksonville game last year, the Denver game at the end of the season last year. We've been getting fucked by the NFL for a very, very long time.
Real quick, because I just want to touch on this point. We're just talking about Lynn Swan and how his bitch ass should not be in the Hall of Fame, which he is. Yep. He's in the Hall of Fame, but our boy Cliff Branch is not in the Hall of Fame. Real quick, I just want to do this real quick. Let's compare some numbers. Please do.
Let's compare some Cliff's numbers is better.
Lynn Swan and Cliff Branch numbers. Okay, here you go. Let's start off. Cliff Branch games played, 183 games. You got Lynn Swan, 116. Receptions. Total receptions. Okay. Cliff Branch, 501 receptions. Lynn Swan, 336 receptions. Yards. Lynn Swan has 5,462 yards for his career. Okay. Cliff Branch, 8,685. Almost double. Okay. TDs. Lynn Swan has 51.
Okay.
That's not bad. Cliff Branch has 67. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Okay. Anybody that can sit here and say that Lynn Swan is a greater receiver than Cliff Branch, is more deserving in the Hall of Fame than Cliff Branch, is out of their fucking mind. Okay.
Do championships.
Goddamn mind, bro.
How many rings? Rings?
Yo,
3.
Cliff Branch. Yeah. There you go.
How many rings for Swan?
Was he got 2?
He got 3.
3?
He got 3.
So it's a wash.
But if that's the deciding factor,
yeah.
But I will say
Cliff
that
Branch should have gone in first, right?
I don't know. Wait. Let's slow down for a second. I'm a Raider fan, but we talking about football here. Lynn Swan was a possession receiver, so a lot of his plays made plays that that the NFL might have saw as more positive than just a deep ball downfield and a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
That being said, Cliff Branch still wipes them in every category. So.
Yeah, he wipes them in every category, bro. You're talking about Lynn Swann being a possession receiver, but the motherfucker only had 336 receptions. To Cliff Branch's 501. Like if that was the case, if you're a possession receiver, shouldn't you have more receptions?
Right.
You should have more receptions, but how big was the 300 receptions that he had in his career? How big? What impact did they have on a game? What impact was he on the field to the opposing team as opposed to Cliff Branch being the NFL? I'm sure looks at all this, and I'm not trying to justify either way because they both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But
I disagree, bro. I don't think the NFL looks at any of that. I don't think they look at any of that. I think they look at the fact that there's certain teams and there's certain players that they naturally favor.
Yeah.
And there's a certain team that they do not favor in any capacity.
I have to agree.
That's what it comes down to, bro.
Yeah, Kane, you guys are both right. Kane's right. The NFL looks at everything, but Shay's also right because the NFL also looks at that shield on the helmet and says, fuck y'all. Mm-hmm. And that's what it comes down to. And Raider Rich wants to correct us. Lynn Swann has 4 championships. You know what? I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't matter.
I don't give a fuck. One of those should have been ours anyways. We already know. So, and rightfully so, Cliff Branches. So, let's move on from that. I think it's a travesty that Baltimore even got that far because any team with Trent Dilfer as quarterback, I don't care how good your defense is. We're not talking about the greatest defense in NFL history. We're talking about the greatest team in NFL history. And Trent Dilfer has no place on the greatest team in NFL history. Shouldn't even made it to the finals. Get the fuck out of here with all that bullshit.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Shit.
I got a lot of respect for the Baltimore defense, man. That 2000 defense was ridiculous. Okay,
they were no joke.
That was all they were. That's all they were was a defense, man.
Exactly. They was good, but I mean, I'll tell you like this much, man. It took them another 13 years. It took the Baltimore Ravens and their defense another 13 years before they actually went back to the Super Bowl. It took the Raiders 4 years to get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go.
And they got to that Super Bowl by pulling a bitch ass move by Tony Siragusa squatting down.
Hell yeah.
Right.
You
didn't
cheated.
Even deserve to be there. Yep. You hate to see it, but Bobby, what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask Bobby if that's all he had on this segment. Should we move forward? What else you got for us, bro?
Yeah, pretty much it, man. I mean, it's just that's just it. I love it that Sports Illustrated that SI.com came out with this article because it just goes to show you that the different type of breed that was the 70s NFL, period. Because all across the NFL, the 70s, they were hard hitting. They were no joke. But we were the cream of the crop when it came to that hard-hitting, hard fucking playing football that we all used to, man. Those hard hits were, like Kenny said, man, you had people over here, trying to take you to court and say that you hit too hard, man. I mean, that was some wild times back then.
Just look at Darryl Stingley. Look at the Darryl Stingley hit. That'll tell you right there who's the hardest hitting team in the NFL.
Yeah, dude, that was no joke right there, man.
We should have been prepared for this, Kenny. You should have had that. You should have had
Charlie Murphy.
That Charlie Murphy. You should have that Charlie Murphy clip, bro.
Hey, yeah, bro. Hey, go Google Charlie Murphy, Darryl Stingley if you want to have a good time.
That shit is funny as hell.
Charlie Murphy, rest in peace. I don't know who you rooted for, but Raider Nation loves you, bro.
Hell yeah.
You shut Darryl Stingley down, bro. He fucking paralyzed his skin.
And then he was a fool. He said, "Hey man, I whooped his ass." He went up.
Fucked up, dog.
Darryl Stingley is the only man in history been paralyzed twice, bro.
Hey, Charlie Murphy. Hey, shout out to Charlie Murphy. You was a real motherfucking nigga.
No joke.
Real nigga.
Real deal, man. He's the real
That
deal.
guy was no joke, dog.
Yeah. Gusto. Shout out to Gusto, man. Shout out to Gusto.
Hell yeah.
But This is a good segue. We're talking about some of the greatest Raiders of all time. We're already arguing matchups and stuff like that. One of our favorite things to do here on the podcast. So we're going to segue into this GROAT bracket. Like I said at the start of the show, we're a little bit behind. We got a lot of names to run through. A lot of people complaining that these first round matchups, a lot of them are no-brainers. And we're seeing it in these votes. There are a lot of landslide victories. I think we've had one close matchup out of everything we've done. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to share the screen. We're going to look at bracket B, which we just barely started, and we're going to go through these, and we're going to make some decisions ourselves, and then we're going to set up the second round. And the next week we'll do bracket C and D, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. So we're going to do C and D next week. We'll do B this week, and then in 3 weeks' time, I guess I should say 2 weeks' time, after we get through those, we're going to put the votes back out to you in your hands. We'll be in the second round. We should have some much more difficult matchups, and then it's on you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share the screen here. We did have one vote that went through on this bracket, and that was Al Davis versus Darrell Russell. And you already know, again, this is a good example of what people are complaining about, and I get it. Al Davis won that one, and then the other vote, we had McLaughlin versus Matuzak, and John Matuzak won that one. It was the Matuzak battle was close on one platform, wasn't close on the other platform. In all honesty, it ended up being a landslide at the end of the day anyway. So that's what we have. Al Davis versus John Matuzak in the second round. So now you already see the magic starting to come together. Now that should be a landslide too, but that's a good conversation right there. That's good. And you're going to have people that argue against Al Davis. You're going to have people that argue that Al Davis, put this team in the dark ages for a long time. So, a lot of people have said when we started, Al Davis is a shoo-in to win this whole thing, but hey, man, it ain't over yet. I don't know. People feel a certain kind of way about Al. We all love him, but people feel a certain kind of way about him too. So we'll leave that one right there. We won't get into that right now, but let's go ahead and move on to this next one. It's Ted Hendricks versus Greg Biekert. Kane, man, you're the elder statesman of the crew. I'm going to put this one on you first. Who's your vote going for here, Ted Hendricks or Greg Biekert?
I'm going to have to say Ted Hendricks because he got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Ted Hendricks has a Super Bowl. And this is actually a pretty good one because I know a lot of our listeners grew up during the Greg Biekert era, the Rich Gannon era, the first Gruden era, and Greg Biekert was a big part of that squad. He's definitely a fan favorite. But if you know anything about Raiders history, Ted Hendricks is a force to be reckoned with. Bobby Wasabi, where are you leaning on this one?
Kick him in the head, Ted, bro. I mean, dog, that's all. It's all in the name, bro. That's all I gotta say. Kick him in the head, Ted.
I was gonna vote the same way, and so there's no. I know Che ran out to the restroom really quick, so there's no need to go there. No disrespect, Che, but Ted Hendricks, it is. I'm a big fan of nostalgia and Raiders history anyway. So that silver era, we'll call it, of the Raiders. Ted Hendricks moving on into the second round. Who will he face in the second round? Now, this is a tough one. This might have been a good vote to put out to the public, but here we go. Howie Long versus Amy Trask. Bro. What can I say? Bro. I love Amy Trask because she symbolizes a lot of things that put the Raiders in a different category than other teams, right? Their willingness to do things that nobody else is willing to do. But Howie Long took the field, and he did a lot of things that nobody else was willing to do as well, and he was a force to be reckoned with. So if I got to give a vote here, I'm going to go Howie Long, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. So, Kane, what do you think? Howie Long versus Amy Trask.
Wow, Amy Trask was a great Raider, Princess of Darkness, much respect. But your job, as part of being your job, was to help us get a new fucking stadium in Oakland. You didn't make that happen. Howie Long, on the other hand, won us a Super Bowl or two. So I have to go with Howie Long in this. Just because, again, the Super Bowl rings and the reason why you was a major part of us getting a stadium in Oakland way back before we ever left. You didn't make it happen, Amy. And I love you. Princess of Darkness, baby. Just didn't happen. Got to go with Howie.
Yeah. That's a damn good point, Kane. Wow. That is a damn good point. That makes this a no-brainer. That point that you just made makes this a no-brainer. So two votes for Howie Long. Probably Wasabi.
It really does, man. It really does, because I was honestly, bro, like that's the jersey I wear all day, every day, is that Howie Long jersey. And I was getting ready to actually give my vote to Amy Trask The reason why is because of the way that she's carried herself throughout these whole years, even after she's left the organization, how much she's promoted the Raider organization as well. That's not to knock on Howie Long, but Kane brought up one hell of a point right there, is that she was supposed to be in charge of that stadium, and it just didn't come through while she was the head of the Raider organization, whereas Howie Long brought a damn Super Bowl. So damn, Kane, I have to switch my vote out because of you, man. Your logic basically won me out right there, man.
Mm-hmm. There it is. So Howie Long moving on to the next round versus Ted Hendricks. And that should be a landslide, but you know what? That's still a good conversation right there. Ted Hendricks versus Howie Long. It is, right? So we'll be getting to that in a few weeks once we get into these rounds. Just to recap for you, Che, and for everybody else listening, we moved Al Davis and John Matuzak moved forward on the strength of the last vote that we published, and we just got into the next one. Ted Hendricks over Greg Biekert, and Howie Long versus I can't get a new stadium, Amy Trask. That's the conversation we just had. So valid point, Kane. That was a nail in the coffin right there. So Che's back. We got to get you involved here. The next one we got Otis Sistrunk, University of Mars, versus Ben Davidson. Ooh.
I mean, that's a good one, bro. But I mean, anyone who has the moniker of coming from the University of Mars, come on, man. Otis Sistrunk, bro. I gotta go. Ben Davidson, we already know. Ben Davidson, he was a monster, man. Okay, and he did his damn thing. But you gotta give respect where respect is due. Otis Sistrunk, man. He's a legend. They're all legends. Everybody here is a legend. But
it's
Otis
getting hard.
He's been legendary for much more time than your boy Ben Davidson.
Right. Kane,
a little more time, Kane. A little more time. Kane's like that. Man, I don't know about that.
I mean,
Kane watches out in real life.
Ben Davidson came before Otis Sistrunk. Now, Otis Sistrunk is the man. Damn, this is hard. I'm gonna go Otis Sistrunk, and I'm not even gonna talk that long. Otis Sistrunk, I'm just gonna say Otis Sistrunk, but I'm gonna have to give Ben Davidson his props with that vote though. So I'm going Otis Sistrunk.
Ben Davidson had a bar in the East Bay, by the way. We never got a chance to go to. Did you ever get out there?
But my grandfather used to drive me past that bar, Clem Down. Yeah, all these players, man, had bars. Art Shell had the patio.
What?
Yeah, Art Shell had the patio in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? And my homeboy that I grew up with, his daddy was the doorman. They used to have Raiders over at their house for barbecues and shit when I was growing up. Man, dude, I grew up Raiders. Seriously, literally, I put that on my mama. I grew up Raiders, bro. Like, knowing the older Raiders, they was way more friendly, way more cooler, just way better people. I'm not saying that these younger players aren't, but I'm just saying, when back in the day, the players was way more cooler. Yeah, that's why I want to say Ben Davidson, because the handlebar man was cool than the motherfucker when I was a kid. I remember I met him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go Otis Sistrunk though.
Is it fair to say, Kane, that back in the day, the players were a part of Raider Nation? And I'm not saying
they was a part of the community. They was a part of the community, man.
They were all really out there. I think Jim Otto ran a franchise of fast food restaurants in the Bay Area too, right? Like Burger Kings or something like that.
I'm not sure about Jim Otto. I never really heard about that. But the other players that I named, I saw their businesses and walked inside and patronized. Well, at least Clem Daniels had those liquor stores we went to for years up and down Foothill, Right. And so, yeah, man. Like I said, I'm gonna go Otis Sistrunk. Although my heart is with Ben Davidson because I met this dude.
While we're on the topic, I know it was never owned by a player. Well, players would go there, and I would go there. Rest in peace to Harry's Hofbrau right outside the stadium, man. I used to go there all the time.
Oh, after Warrior game, man. You know how many times I've been there after my – oh, yeah, man.
Remember all the USFL pennants? Remember all the USFL pennants and everything? That was a cool spot, man. Rest in peace.
That was a cool spot. It was, you know what? It was a scary spot when I was a kid because it was nothing but grown ass men in there, loud than a motherfucker, smoke everywhere, sports people yelling, they're yelling this shit. And I'm 7, 8 years old with my grandfather, like, hey, man, don't let me from your side, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man.
Hey, you're older than me, but when I was in there at 8, I felt the same way. I was like, man, this place is wild, man. Let me just get my turkey leg and sit down, bro.
Exactly.
They had some fire mashed potatoes at Harry Softball, though. So you're going Otis. Bobby went Otis. Che, where you going on this one?
I mean, I went Otis too, man. But
okay,
like Kane said, I was pretty off on the times, right? So. Your boy Ben Davidson, he was on there in 64. I did, the years didn't quite click for me. But he was on there in 64, but he wasn't a Raider originally, And Otis was a Raider and only a Raider, and he was also undrafted, man. So you gotta give it up to a man that was undrafted and then put in the work to make sure that he became one of the main men.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just think back to my uncles talking about some of these old school players, and Otis Sistrunk is one of those names that rings heavily for me amongst some of my uncles. Just overhearing as a kid about these great Raiders, Otis Sistrunk is one of those names that always pops out at me. So I gotta go with Otis, man. Otis.
Otis. Like you said, Chad.
And a shout out to my boy because he named his son Otis. Had nothing to do with the Raiders, but he didn't know Otis. So shout out.
Talk to Homer about Ben Davidson. Ben Davidson is one of Homer's favorite Raider players.
Hey, like I said, Ben Davidson is. I know these are all legends, man. It's like it's so difficult to choose one over the other, man. Like you can't go wrong. Even if you chose the opposite, you still be right. You know what I mean? Like you still be right in some sense. Like these are all legends right now. The only way the only thing that maybe you would argue is some of the newer players versus some of these guys, and they wouldn't even be a question, right? But when you got two legends like this, two legends of Raider Nation, like it's a wash. It's really a wash, and it's just basically whoever leans most to one player versus the other. So yeah, you're right. You're right though, okay? You're right.
We got 3 more of these, and then we'll move on. The next one's it's interesting. You got Bill King in here, who we didn't really have a place for him. Bill King is in there. Holy Toledo baby, voice of the Raiders, voice of the Oakland A's. Rest in peace, Bill King, and Phil Vilipiano, who is still definitely very much a member of Raider Nation. And really, there's a lot of jokes flying around on Twitter about the quote unquote voice of Raider Nation. It's Phil Vilipiano right now.
Yep.
Right now, it's Phil Vilipiano. He's the storyteller. He's the bard of Raider Nation. We've had Phil on the show. You've heard him on several other shows. The man has a lot to say. Had a chance to meet some of his family, very genuine people, incredible folks. Phil Vilipiano changed the rule book. This guy was just a renegade in the NFL. This is a guy that you were afraid of on the field and enforcement.
Absolutely.
So my vote here goes for Phil Vilipiano. I'm asking for Bobby. Bobby, why don't you jump in there? What do you say?
Bro, I was the one who actually said that we should throw Bill King in there. But when I seen him basically paired up against Phil Vilipiano, I was like, shit, fool all day, baby. That's it, man. I mean, honestly, bro, it's like you said, like the voice of Raider. That's awesome, bro. It really is true. He really is the embodiment and the voice of Raider Nation. The reason why is because, like you said, he has the stories. He has that pedigree. Not only that, I mean, he ain't gonna pull no punches, bro. He ain't gonna be like, well, I personally disagree with you. It's like, no, that guy's a fucking punk. And he'll tell you about that, dude. I mean, y'all remember when he fucking called out fucking, what was it, Amari Cooper over there and shit, fucking running his mouth about all this BS and shit. And fool was like, nah, hell no. That punk was around my time. He's like, I'd knock him the fuck out. And he didn't pull no punches, man. He said it just like how he felt it. And in every interview and anytime you ever see him, even if you see him out in those parking lots, because that's the other thing too, man. He's not a type of cat that would just live off of his pedigree, off of his accolades, and just be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, and just be far away from everybody. He's out there, man. He's out there with Raider Nation. He's mixing it up, chopping it up with everybody, and it's the best, dude. Because I mean, it in reality, like you guys were saying, like the Raiders of old, they were blue collar cats.
Still the same.
They made just as much cash as the other cat that went out there to go see them play football. They made just as much money, and you know what? They lived life as best as they could. They partied and they had a great time, and afterwards they took care of their own deal, man. And so honestly, my vote has to go all day for Fu. And that's I honestly been thinking about getting a new jersey. I was like, what am I gonna get? I was thinking Alzado. I was thinking maybe a Branch, but man, dude, it's just that I kid you not, it was that comment of him just calling out freaking Amanda Cooper. It was the best, dude. I was like, you know what? Fu all day. Fu all day. You know what? Get him in the booth too. Hashtag Fu in the booth.
Yeah, bro. Hashtag
hey, that just backs up what I said, Bobby. I'm glad you said that because that backed up what I said the last segment, how the Raiders players was cool. Those players are still the same. Those players are still the same way.
Hell yeah.
They endure. They love it. They love the approach of the old Raider fans to come say, hey, let's have a beer. Let me buy you a beer. Let me get, even if you don't ask for an order, can I get a picture? They don't have a problem with that. Like they don't run from it at all.
Bro, you know Fu has actually let people wear his championship ring.
Cliff Branch too.
And take a picture. I mean, dog, dude, come on. Yeah, there you go. See that? These are the old school players, man. Players
when I went to Miami,
past, man.
When I went to Miami, Cliff Branch had a sign-in booth at one of the parties we went to. Cliff Branch, it was Lincoln Kennedy. I think Fu was there. It was a few people. That's where you might have seen me post a picture with me and Cliff Branch on Twitter on a rooftop in Miami. Because he was at the little signing part. He was letting people wear his ring. He had all his Super Bowl, all three of them out there. He was letting everybody, you could take a picture, but you had to pay for it, obviously. But he was letting everybody wear them. He was talking to everybody, answered any questions, was cool as fuck. It was just smooth. I appreciate, because these guys, to me, these older players are my heroes. When I was a kid, this is who oh man, look, there go fucking Cliff Branch. Like where people, these younger guys, they don't know, like, oh, who is that? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, dude, there go Cliff Branch, blood, there go, you know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-da-da. When I was a kid, look, there go so-and-so, it's like, wow, man, I'm starstruck at these players, not these younger players. And these older players are still out here being legends and representing a team and giving the fans a fan fest or a fan experience that they might not ever had with another team as a fan of another team. So I gotta, the Raiders players, man, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Mark Davis for keeping the Raider players around. Shout out to Al for starting the trend around the league, because of the league has now induced the legend players. That started with us. That started with the Raiders. And so I appreciate that.
Always the Raider. Yep.
I appreciate that.
So I'm going to go ahead based on your comments and move Phil forward, since three of us already voted for him. Che, you're going to get in on this next round. Another thing about Phil and his blue collar roots, he still works. Phil Filippiano is involved in logistics and still runs a company out there on the East Coast. So this man has not stopped working. And a lot of that is exactly what you said, Bobby. They were making as much money as the people watching them, paying to watch them. So, and nowadays it's the exact opposite, right? You damn near have to make as much money as the players just to go watch them. So things have definitely changed in the NFL, man. The next matchup here, Che, go ahead and lead this one off. Rod Martin versus Lyle Alzado.
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one, man.
I just want to remind you guys, and I had to look it up again and refresh my memory. when we were ranking this group, you see Martin is ranked 7th and Alzado 10th. They were very close.
Yeah.
We had these discussions, and a lot of this came down to the fact that Rod Martin played his entire career for the Raiders.
Yep.
You know, Lyle Alzado played for the Denver Broncos. I just want to remind you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only one of them got a Super Bowl though. So
what's that?
I said only one of them got a Super Bowl.
Well, no. Alzado got one and Rod Martin got 2. Right?
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to get you right. My bad.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong box. My bad. Yeah.
No. Rod Martin, man. Rod Martin. I gotta go with Rod Martin, just because of the fact the man has 2 Super Bowls with this team, and famously picked off, like took one to the house, right? Took a couple, I guess, to the house too. Not just one against the Eagles, right? And then I think he had one against the Bears another time or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this guy is he's a legend, man. And I've talked about this prior. Maybe it's a little biased, but his brother used to date my cousin. he was kind of family for a minute, and this is no joke. Rod Martin's brother's name is Ricky Martin. Okay, this is not a joke. His fucking name is Ricky Martin. He's living La Vida Loca. He was living La Vida Loca with my cousin. Okay, those are facts.
Damn,
those are fucking facts, son. Okay,
Rod Martin. I gotta go Rod Martin too. Bobby, what do you say, Rod Martin or Lyle Alzado?
Well, I mean, once again, I had to hear your guys' arguments right there to totally just flip my argument, because I was going to go with 3 Mile Lau, but then again, you know, he did not have his whole career there with the Raider Nation. So, I mean, I do have to go with Rod Martin right there. And not only that, that's a hilarious fact, Che. Ricky Martin has his brother.
The only knock against Rod Martin is he never tried to fight Muhammad Ali, you know. He might have could have done that, but you know, Lyle Alzado was the only one that had the balls to do so, and lost.
Rod Martin could have gone up to like Roy Jones Jr. or something, dog, and just like punched them as a child, just
as a child. God damn, Roy Jones Jr. for real. So Rod Martin, it is right. Rod Martin, it is. We'll put him in there.
No disrespect to Lyle though, because we all know the madman that was Lyle Alzado, man.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. All right, so the last one here, this one should be a landslide. You got Greg Townsend versus Khalil Mack. I couldn't even write Khalil Mack onto this page. I had to actually get my girlfriend to come in the room and type it for me. just because, you know, it wasn't going to be any of us.
Oh,
you know?
man.
It had to be an impartial participant.
Yeah.
So, you know, my lady doesn't know who Greg Townsend is. She's a Raiders fan. She has no idea.
I still can't say that guy's name, dog. I still say 52.
Malil Crack.
Malil Crack.
We don't even have to talk about it.
I feel like let me just add my 2 cents with that. I feel like with Khalil Mack, once a Raider, always a Raider. I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give Khalil Mack that. I'm not gonna give that to Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it to Khalil Mack though.
Yeah, I could back
if you don't like it, it is what it is. I get it, but I'm gonna have to say Khalil Mack is once a Raider, always a Raider.
We got the most out of Khalil Mack when he left this team, though. That's my hot take. You know, but I guess that remains to be seen. It looks good on paper. It remains to be seen. But that's what it looks like right now. So round 2 in bracket B, you got some good matchups here. You got Davis versus Matuzak. I would have liked to see Matuzak versus Al Davis. I mean, Lyle Alzado. That would have been crazy.
Ooh, that would have been good. That would have been real good.
So Davis versus Matuzak, Hendricks versus Long, Sistrunk versus Villapiano, and Martin versus Townsend. It's going to be a hell of a second round in bracket B. So next week, we'll do 2 for you. We'll do C and D, unless we're chock full of news like we are this week. It's been a pretty robust show so far. So that's where we're at. Groat votes are retired for the weekend, and we're gonna move on. Che, you did some research for us this weekend. So
yeah.
It's your time to shine. We'll get back to some current events here. We're gonna jump in the time machine back to 2020, and Chase got some news for us
You
on
can
Trent
get
Brown and Max Crosby. Let me take this screen off.
There you
Y'all
go.
can't keep behind the curtain too long.
There you go. So those the behind the scenes exclusive right there. Show notes.
Just
Show
be glad.
notes.
Just be glad Kenny was wearing pants, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Hey,
to be
no
determined.
one really knows that though, Bobby. No one really knows.
That's right. He hasn't stood up yet. That's right.
I could be brutally
Yeah,
honest.
he the only one that ain't stood up today. That's right.
That's why he hasn't stood up. I see.
Trying to show off Mr. He's not trying to show off
I got
Mr.
a
Dangle.
trough in front of me right now.
He has a black rectangle, so when he stands up, he just puts it up like this.
I got the trough. You said that one.
He one of them like, shit, we on Zoom. I get to do my podcast in my drawers. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Shit.
Yeah, I ain't mad at him either, man. This is hot up in there.
It is.
I've been in the crow's nest in July, okay? I've been in the crow's nest in July. It's not the best.
Hey, that motherfucker is hot in December. What is you talking about?
It's hot.
You turn the lights on and it's hot.
Oh,
Facts. Fax machine, dog.
Yeah,
oh man, but listen. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into these this workout by Trent Brown. Okay, Trent Brown and
Oh, we got an intruder in the studio. But it's all
yes.
love. All love. What we're going to talk about right now, I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm just going to set the table. We're talking about right now is, with the COVID stuff going on, you don't have mini camps. You don't have the voluntary workouts. You have a lot of private sessions going on. People taking matters into their own hands. We talked a little bit about that in Derek Carr's sessions. Trent Brown and Max Crosby, obviously not position players in that regard. They play on the line. So, they got thrown uphill battle. And speaking of uphill, take it away, Che.
yeah, I had a little uphill battle there too, man. My daughter was trying to bust through the door right now.
Bro, I was trying to segue you into Max Crosby's uphill training workout.
Hey, that was a perfect segue, but I'm just telling
She
you.
want to be a star, bro. She want to be on TV, bro. She want to be on YouTube TV. That's all. You know what I'm saying? She know what her daddy do. She's like, I want to be on TV with my daddy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
New Princess of Darkness.
She's just a little upset. Her nighttime routine is starting, and daddy's not there. So, but anyways, getting back to the segue that Kenny put forth for me, the uphill battle that he's alluding to was the Max Crosby workout. Okay, Max Crosby's been posting many a workout. We were talking about this prior about seeing a lot of these offensive workouts, the offensive team getting out there on the field together and doing a lot of positive things, right? And showcasing it. But the defense is not to be ignored. Now, granted, we haven't seen any team workouts with the defense out on the field, but we have seen the individuals, especially some of these newcomers, Cleveland Farrell to be one, and then you got your boy Mad Max, you got Amik Robertson, you got all these young guys trying to show they're putting in the work, they're putting in the effort to improve and show up day one. And Max is not to be ignored, man. So your boy Max, he's been on a mission, man. Okay, this guy is. If you go on his feed right now on IG, you're gonna see probably like 5-6 different workouts posted on his feed. Okay, and they vary. He's got a variety of workouts. He's got speed and agility workouts. He's got strength and conditioning workouts. He's got hand fighting workouts. He's doing every little thing he can to make sure that he improves in all facets of the game. And I applaud him. I applaud him, man. So one of the first videos that we saw is the hand fighting techniques that obviously will aid this man in getting off of blocks and getting after the quarterback, which we all know he does best. Okay. I'm very excited to see that. And if you watch the video, I think there could be probably some criticism because Raider Nation loves to criticize anything they can. You go on Raiders Twitter, people criticize just about every damn thing they see, but it doesn't look all that exciting. You watch the hand fighting, and it's not very exciting, but what it's doing is it's creating a natural reaction, right? He's doing these techniques over and over again, swatting hands away, getting hands off of them, knocking an arm out that comes out to hit him in the shoulder, whatever. All this stuff is just so that it becomes more natural. So when he's out on the field, he's going to go out there, he's going to knock that hand away, he's going to get by that right tackle, left tackle, wherever they put him on the field, and he's going to get after that quarterback. And I'm not mad at that because it's the simple things, okay? NFL players are all great athletes. Okay, let's not get twisted. Okay, you wouldn't be in the NFL if you weren't a great athlete. If you weren't one of the elite athletes and one of the elite football players, you would not be in the league at all. Okay, it's about the little things, right? The consistency, the techniques, the subtle differences and practices that these players have is what puts them over the top. And that's exactly what Max is focusing on. So you got him doing these hand techniques. I applaud him for that because we already know he can get after the ball. If he can find a way to get there even more often, then I think we're going to be in for a treat. Then you got him out at the beach working on speed and agility techniques, right? Speed and agility workouts. So you got this man hopping one-footed over little mini hurdles in the sand. You got him doing read and reacts in the sand, and everything that I'm looking at as a fan, I'm getting excited, right? I'm saying this guy didn't just go into the offseason saying, I just got to put on another 10 pounds and then I'm good because everywhere else I'm already good. He's not content with his speed and agility as it is, even though it's great. We already know it's great. We have already seen what it looks like on the field. He gets around those tackles. He finds his way to the quarterback. A guy that was content would be like, I'm just going to go in the weight room, lift some weights, put on some beef, and then I'm going to hit the field and I'm just going to be better. No, this guy is improving in the areas that he's already good at. And that's fucking fantastic. You should be excited about that, Raider Nation. This guy is not happy with just being good. He wants to be great, okay? So this guy's out there in the sand. He's doing read and react techniques. He's getting after, chasing after the ball, whatever. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. He's putting in that effort. And then lastly, what we just saw this current week, this last week, we saw him doing uphill drills, okay? So this dude he's doing 15-yard get-offs, okay? 50-yard get-off and sprint 5 times uphill. And I don't know how many sets he did, but that was one set. I know that he did five times for one set. And he probably had to do about 5, 10 maybe of those sets, right? Then this dude is doing full sprints, 30 yards uphill, that same hill. And I don't know where that place was. I don't know where it was listed, but it looked like the Bay Area to me. It looked like he was running uphill somewhere in the Bay Area. San Francisco. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. So you know your boy's still out here. Even though he's got his house in Vegas, he's not content with just chilling at home in Vegas, jumping in the pool and all that kind of shit. He's coming back to do some work in areas that he recognizes and he knows can help him out. So he's out here running the hills in the Bay Area, and I applaud him for that because that's also some dedication to get your ass away from home where you're comfortable and go do some work elsewhere, right? And then lastly, you see him doing side steps. So if you know anything about the defensive end position, okay, you don't just get after the quarterback. You got to hold the edge. So this guy's doing uphill side steps for, 40 yards. You got to imagine this guy's strengthening his hips. He's strengthening his core. He's strengthening his legs so that when it comes to the field, this guy's reaction, his timing, and his ability to keep a tackle on the inside of him and make that running back cut back inside and allow us to tackle those running backs for a loss, it's going to come into play. It's going to come into play. And like I said, all together, you put all the body of work. He's been in the gym. He's not just doing all these body weight workouts. He's in the gym. He's lifting weights. He's putting it all together. it's exciting to see because you know this guy is not happy just being successful in his rookie season. He wants to improve, and he's put it out there. He's also said it. He's also said, you know what? Get ready for season for round 2 because I'm going to be better next season than I was this year. And that to me, when you speak those words, like Cleveland Farrell did too. Cleveland did it too. He said, I'm going to be better. You're not going to recognize me next season. I'm going to be way better than I was this season. Both these young cats are saying, you know what? I'm going to speak it, but I'm not just going to speak it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to chase it. And they're putting in the work to get there. And I think we're going to have a dangerous duo on the edges, man. I'm excited about it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's going to be great. If this season happens, it's going to be great.
When Heidi was here the other day, we were talking about Max Crosby, and I was like, you know, with all the hate that's out there amongst Raider Nation, everyone divided on this guy and that guy. Max Crosby's sort of Switzerland. He's the guy that everyone could come together and agree on. This guy is a force to be reckoned with. You know, I said I wasn't going to buy any more current play jerseys, but I might have to buy a Max Crosby jersey.
I might have to too.
Much like Carl Joseph. Max Crosby. I might have to buy 6 Max Crosby jerseys, one for every day of the week. On Saturdays, I don't do shit. I stay on my couch, and that's why I wear my Darryl Stingley jersey because I ain't moving.
Oh,
yeah, Max Crosby. He totally has made me forget about the Khalil Mack trade. Totally.
There you go.
Max Crosby has made me. I don't even think about Khalil Mack unless you say his name.
There you go. And I wish there would be more Raider fans that were like you, King. Because there's just some motherfuckers that won't let that shit go. They just won't let it go.
The other thing we talked about with Max is, I mean, this guy is a throwback to real Raiders. I mean, you saw it in his first preseason.
Ted Hendricks, baby. Ted Hendricks 2.0. The Mad Condor.
Yeah.
The way he broke his hand and got back in there. I mean, this guy he won't let anything stop him from getting on the field.
He says, just tape it up, coach. Just tape it up. I'm good. Yeah, listen, so one of the things real quick, because in these uphill sprints, one of the things that really caught my eye, okay, was in these 30-yard full sprints uphill, the man was carrying the ball, okay? This signals something to me. This tells me this man wants to find his way into the end zone this season, okay? So real quick, Chestradamus prediction for 2020, your boy Mad Max will scoop and score on a 20-plus yard touchdown. He will scoop and score a 20-plus yarder in 2020. Book it.
Bold prediction, big bro. Bold prediction. Bold prediction.
Book it, bro. I'm with you. I'm rolling with you, Max.
I don't put it past him. I think he can do that. I think he can get more than one. This dude is good. Too. I think he's good. You know how when Khalil Mack had that first subpar season, but it was pretty good. It was subpar, but it was pretty good for a first round pick. And then he came back and you saw like a really big, you saw like he bulked up. His bull rush was like, oh my God, this motherfucker's throwing 300-pound motherfuckers to the side like they rag dolls. Yeah. That's what I would like to see from Mad Max. I would like to see him work on his bull rush a little bit more with his hands on the player and be able to move that player just a little bit more. I get the hand movement and I get the finesse and I can get around you because I'm like, yeah, this, but I need to see some straight nigga. Move, motherfucker. I'm to the quarterback. And you saw that with Khalil Mack. You know what I'm saying? I would
say this, okay, because we did see some of that. Okay, you watch the film real closely, and Mad Max wasn't just finessing motherfuckers. He wasn't just running around motherfuckers. There's more than one time, more than one occasion he put a fucking tackle on his ass and got his arms up into these guys, pressed them, and shoved them back into the quarterback. So, and this is Mad Max coming out of college, being said to have to put on some extra weight, right? That was that Mad Max. So I expect him fully to come back with more strength, more size, but added agility, added speed. That's a dangerous motherfucker, bro. That's a dangerous motherfucker.
Absolutely.
A guy that's improving on his techniques, increasing his speed and agility and awareness, and adding strength and size. Hey,
that's a win-win situation. But you know what? You got these. Also, you have these tackles that are just as athletic now.
Absolutely.
The Trent Brown. The Trent Brown. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be able to your bull rush gotta be on point. And I think Khalil Mack opened my eyes up to the bull rush a lot more than I saw it before I saw him doing it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So
well, the one thing about Khalil Mack is he got that one arm press, bro. It's kind of like a Reggie White type of press, right? But Reggie White, you used to see Reggie White, he would club motherfuckers out the way.
The swim. Yeah.
You hit those motherfuckers with the club and tackles would just go flying. Khalil Mack's got a little bit of that, but he's got more of this press. He gets his one arm into the shoulder pad of these guys, and that's just enough to get them off balance and backpedaling before you know they're on the ground and Khalil's swallowing up quarterbacks. If you're right, if Mad Max and Cleveland Farrell can add a little bit of that to their game, yeah, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit for these guys. The sky's the limit for sure. But I want to take advantage of that segue because you're talking about these athletic tackles, and we just happen to have. Do it again. Go for it, Kenny.
Who's that?
That's right, Trent Brown, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another man that's out there putting in work, and this guy has also been consistent. You see him putting out workouts. This man's moving 5-ton trucks. Okay. He's out there doing agility drills too. He's out there running the field in the middle of the night. I'm impressed, man. He's not content. Okay. He's not content. And I think considering the thoughts that a lot of people had about Trent Brown coming into the Raiders, they said, he was a below average guy when he first started in the league. And then they're saying that he was overpaid coming from the Patriots, even though he had a pretty good season protecting Tom Brady. Comes over to the Raiders. Everyone's clamoring. They're saying, you know what, man, that's a little too much money. You guys went and paid a guy that's not even the number one tackle, that kind of money, and he's not even going to be your left tackle. What are you guys doing? Well, Trent showed you why we were going to pay him that money. He proved to you and the whole entire league why he was deserving of that money, because he just came into this team and shut down anybody that came to his side. Khalil Mack, Bosa, Ingram, whoever the fuck ended up on that side couldn't do shit, okay? There was nobody that did no work on Trent Brown. As long as he was healthy and he was in there, shut him down, okay? That's why you pay that man that money, okay? That being said, there's still motherfuckers out there that are talking. And some of them, unfortunately, call themselves Raider fans, bro, okay? So
because offensive linemen don't play whole seasons. That's what the big deal of with giving Trent Brown $66 million is no offensive lineman usually, except the center, usually plays the whole season.
But there you go. But if you do have, these guys that do put in the work, they make sure that they got the strength, the conditioning, the agility, the flexibility to go out there, suit up every single game of the season, then you just hit the fucking jackpot, okay? You just hit the jackpot. And Trent Brown, in the offseason, has been doing just that, trying to assure that he's out there every single game this season, however many games are played. So your boy has been posting these workouts. Most recently, your boy was posting this workout where he is jumping 2.5-foot hurdles. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot when you're 6'8", 380 pounds, okay? And you're doing this repetitively and quickly, okay? This man's getting up over the hurdle 5 different times. Like I said, off of a box, jumps, hits the ground, pops over the hurdles over and over again. And I saw something ridiculous on Twitter. Some guy calls himself a Raider fan, saying, "Oh, this fat ass better be out there working out. Oh, for all the money we're paying him, he better be able to jump over a house and all this kind of nonsense. I'm like, shut your stupid couch potato ass up, bro. You sitting on the couch right now, you eating that fucking cheeseburger, a goddamn peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You have zero athleticism, you thought-I eating motherfucker. How dare you? How dare you talk shit about this man? Okay, this big man is getting himself over these hurdles, putting in work day in, day out, and you have the audacity. You have the audacity to talk smack about this dude. This guy will crush you with his big toe, bro. Stop that shit.
Round.
Stop that.
Facts,
shit,
baby.
Man.
Facts, baby.
And I just want to say this, man, because the truth of the matter is the moment that Trent got here, I felt really good about it. I thought, man, this is a massive man. This is what tackles should look like in the league, okay? Big, tall, massive, immovable, okay? That's exactly what he was for us, and he hasn't let us down, okay? Trent has not let us down. So for anybody to talk bad about him is just ridiculous.
It's
man.
just the injuries. It's the injuries, bro. That's what it is. It's the being he didn't play for 6 games. You know, he got to come with that Lincoln Kennedy stamina. You know what I'm saying? He got to come with that I'm gonna play every game stamina, and I think that's what fans are looking for, the longevity, because there is a drop off. We don't have a backup. Denzel Good, we don't have a really backup right tackle right now.
You're right.
So,
I think that's always a concern. You're absolutely right in saying that you don't want to see this man off the field. I don't want to see him off the field because of how great he is when he's on the field. But you don't want to see him off the field also because it's a downgrade when you get the next man up. Okay? But that's a given on any team. Okay? You don't have a guy that's sitting in as the number 2 tackle behind your number 1 if he's not going to be a downgrade.
But you should.
What I'm saying is
you should though.
You're not going to have a guy that's going to come in and play to the equal to the abilities of your number 1.
For depth, you should
be number 2.
Your second guy should be not too much of a drop off from your starter. That's
you
why.
Should, but the price of a tackle in the NFL prohibits that. I mean, the cost of a tackle really prohibits that. They are expensive.
Backups are backups, man. And if you have a backup that's that good, he ain't gonna be a backup on your team for very long. He's either gonna replace the tackle that you have, or he's gonna go elsewhere and get paid.
But you know what that means? That means your offensive line coach is developing tackles.
That's true.
Go out into the NFL. So
that's true.
If you always have that next guy, you're good. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is Colton Miller played an entire year on a broken ankle. Trent Brown needs to put some tape on it and get out there.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Throw some dirt on it. Put a little bit of tape. Se vale sobar. Okay, you rub a little bit. Okay, rub it a little bit. Okay, get your ass out there. But listen, I'm just gonna say this because I ain't one of these foolish motherfuckers on Twitter talking all that smack. Real recognizes real, and I'm gonna say shout out to you, Trent. We see you, and we appreciate the work you're putting in there, and we look forward to the season you're gonna have, dog. We do.
Round.
And Che's got more data to back that up because Trent Brown is part of a ranked offensive line. What's that rank?
Oh. Yeah. So your offensive line here, okay? And PFF doesn't always get it right. And we have our issues with PFF from time to time. Okay. But PFF went out on a limb and ranked the Oakland Raiders offensive line as the number 1 rated offensive line going into 2020. Okay.
Paul, Kane's got his hand up.
Go ahead, Kane.
Hey, we got the best offensive line in the fucking NFL.
Hey,
we've had the best offensive line. Us and Dallas and the Raiders have the 2 best offensive lines by far in the NFL. bar none. You can't even fucking compete. Don't even fucking try. You got Rodney Hudson. You got Richie Incognito. You got Colton Miller, Trent Brown, and then you got Gabe Jackson.
Yep.
Every one of us made the Pro Bowl. How could you not be the best offensive line going into 2020? Because Dallas just has. Yeah, I agree with you there, Che. I agree with you there, brother.
Well, hey, man, you're agreeing with PFF, man, because that's what they said, okay? I'm just repeating what they said, okay?
And I agree with that.
This offensive line is ranked number 1 going into 2020. And most importantly, the thing that they cited that made it so obvious to them is the fact that this offensive line, as you just stated, Kane, is coming back intact, okay? So last year's starting line was from left to right: Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Trent Brown. Those 5 guys are all back in 2020, okay? So there's only one thing that can happen when a line plays together multiple years, and that is continuity. These guys are going to get to know each other better. They're going to work better together. And PFF thinks that's enough to put them over the top because they have solid players. As you just stated, they have Pro Bowlers. They have all-pro linemen on this team, okay? Richie Incognito and Rodney Hudson are 2 of the top offensive linemen combos, guard-center combos in the league, okay? They only gave up 12 pressures last season combined, Richie Incognito and Rodney Hudson. And only one of those pressures went for a sack, okay? And we already know that your boy Rodney Hudson hasn't allowed a sack in like 2-3 years, if not more. So we know that we're working with the best anchor man in the league. Rodney Hudson is, bar none, best center in the league. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. No one can tell me different.
If they do, they suck dick.
Yeah, they're stupid. They're stupid. They're just lying to themselves. Then you got your boy Richie Incognito, the crazy white boy that we talked about in the offseason coming in last season. We're like, we don't know what to expect from this crazy white boy. We just expect he's going to get after it. He's going to get crazy. He's going to take some people out. And he did just that. I mean, anything from putting people on the grass and then, put a little extra on there, put a little extra mud on them, shove that face mask in the floor. Right? Right?
You know who else is a crazy motherfucker on that line? Gabe Jackson's stinking ass.
Gabe Jackson's another crazy motherfucker too.
Motherfucker.
And that's the difference, right? So the difference is going into the season, Incognito going into the beginning of the last season was on suspension, right? So we didn't have Incognito to start the season. Gabe Jackson was in injury, and he slowly came back and joined us too. Now we're going to get a chance to start the full season with both of these guys at their natural positions, guard, no backups in there. And I applaud the backups because they did their damn thing too. They didn't let us down. We didn't have bad games with those guys. Those guys held their own. But you want to have your starters. Incognito, Gabe Jackson, those are the 2 guys that need to be there. And they need to be there from start to finish. Okay?
I agree with that 1,000, 1 million motherfucking percent, bro. I'm ready I want to jump off the fucking stands with that, with your take, bro. That's the take right there. This is 2 best guards in the league. 2 best guards in the league.
And nasty, and they're nasty. And that's what we love about them most. So one of the things that we loved about when Kelechi was here, when Kelechi and Gabe were out there, they were the 2 nastiest motherfucking guards in the league. That first season Kelechi arrived, he was a different type of cat, bro.
Pre-vegan.
Pre-vegan. Pre-vegan. He was a different type of cat, and they were getting after fools, and it was like a competition every single week to see who could put more motherfuckers into the ground, right? It was Pancake City over here. That's all they were trying to do was just put people down, okay? And if I'm standing here by myself, I'm going to go look over my shoulder to see who else I can hit because my left tackle might need a little bit of help. Let me go.
Hey, that's what they do. Shot. Hey, that's what a real guard does.
That's what he's supposed to do.
A real guard is a fucking bully. He watches. He can look and he'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm about to run over here and tackle this motherfucker."
That's it.
While you on my homie, you know what I'm saying? Beasting. So Steve Wisniewski, beasting.
That's right,
man. I'm just saying, beasting, bro. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. So these guys, man, going into this season, and you know what? It's a little homerish of us to sit here and say absolutely PFF got it right. But I honestly do think they do. Okay, they do got it right. As long as this team can stay healthy, and we see improvements from our young left tackle Colton Miller, because as PFF pointed out, he was the weak link. Okay, much improvement going from
everybody's pointing this dude out as the weak link.
But that's to be expected. You're talking about guys that have been in the league for years now, and you got a guy that's in his third year. He's going into his third year. So listen, it's about patience. Okay, this guy's coming from 2018 to 2019. He made a big jump. Okay, we saw a lot of improvement in Colton Miller, and I hope that I expect. Let me just say that I expect to see the same, because Colton Miller has not shown that he's a guy that's content with being drafted earlier than he should have been. Okay, because a lot of people will tell you that. Okay, he has shown that he takes that shit very, very seriously. He takes an offense to that when people say, "Yo, this guy, we could have drafted him in the second round." He takes an offense to that, and he said, "You know what?
telling the fucking truth, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna put
telling the fucking 1,000% truth, bro.
I'm gonna put in the work, and I'm gonna show you why these guys decided to draft me as early as they did." And I appreciate that, Colton, because a lot of other motherfuckers that have been drafted in this league, okay, just took the money and said, "Yeah, I made it," and they were happy to sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing to earn that money. Okay. You're earning your money. You're putting in work every offseason. You're getting better every season. In 2020, we expect to see the best Colton Miller we've ever seen. Absolutely.
Shout out to Colton Miller's dad, or we wouldn't know none of this shit right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Dan Miller's a real one. Dan Miller's a real one. Hey, International House of Pancakes this year, like Bobby said, man. That's what I want to see. Flapjack season, bro. I'm gonna be out there with that butter pecan syrup all over it too, bro.
That's right,
you ain't fucking with that pecan syrup. I don't fuck with you.
Whenever I visit IHOP, I'm a waffle guy at IHOP. But hey, man, pancakes for the Raiders all day. I'm a fan of the pancakes.
I don't like pancakes and waffles, but I like bacon and syrup. So I'll take that.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, it's a hell of a show, guys. Everyone did their work today. It's good to be back on the air with you guys.
Absolutely.
Good to see the Pillagers in the chat. I see Damage Incorporated just joined us, and so did Sean Hildebrand just joined us. Shout out to you guys. Let's say it again. Damage Incorporated, 29 long years with your wife.
Congratulations, baby.
Man, that's huge.
Pillaging just for fun. Hey. Pillage your wife just for fun tonight, baby. You understand? Yeah.
Facts. Congrats, Damage. Congrats, man.
Damage has been with his wife longer than the Raiders have last won a Super Bowl, bro.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, 76.
That's not a proud stat to be a part of. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, the Raiders ain't doing shit. I got to do something to improve my life.
The Raiders ain't doing shit. I got to hit this pussy tonight.
Yeah, there you go, man. Hey, no cap, Damage. That's tremendous, man. I know you got a lovely family out there. We've seen your pics on Twitter. You're a loyal Pillager. Good morning to you, because I don't know what time it is out there, but I think it's like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. What's up, Kane?
No, I'm saying what's up to homeboy. I'm saying what's up to Damage.
Yeah.
Shout out to Damage, because he like a lot of my tweets. Shout out, bro. Shout out, bro. Congratulations on your 30 years?
29 years. Yeah, 30 years.
Same old crackers for 29 years. You did it, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm coming up on just 4 with my lady. And
like Eddie Murphy say, same old crackers.
Must be good.
Must be good.
Shit, no cap. Trey dipped out real quick. I'm sure he'll be right back. But we've come to the end of our show. Unless there's anything I missed, guys. Is there anything that we want to get in there before we get out?
Man, I'm having so much motherfucking fun right now. I could continue this shit for 2-3 more hours, man. I love doing this fucking show, man. Y'all.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I love doing this show. Although I'm probably the most drama-est nigga on this motherfucker, but nobody would ever know. But I love doing this motherfucking show. Yeah.
I lost about 10 pounds tonight sweating in the studio. So that's positive. That's positive. We have to change this to the.
Hey, you need to get some air conditioning, a window. We need to. All you guys that's putting in money to our show, we need a fucking mobile air conditioning piece inside the Crowcast studio. You know what I'm saying?
Crow's Nest.
So that's actually on the list. So Bobby and Che and I, we're going to be coming in here and cleaning house. Bobby's already helped me. We took a couple loads to the dump last week. Me and Bobby were lifting heavy shit in the heat, and then we ate good, and we won't talk about the rest of what happened.
The Crow's Nest.
I bet you shrooms was involved.
We like a good Italian dish once in a while. Expand your thoughts, but that's what's next. We are trying to make the Crow's Nest camera ready, because this room it's been collecting a lot of memorabilia for a long time, but it's time to put it all in the right place so it looks good for you guys. We need to really convert this man cave into what it is. So we'll be doing that over the next few weeks, and once it's done, I told the crew that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be investing in a portable air conditioner and a brand new computer system to get some more nice graphics and everything out for you guys, something a little bit more powerful to make the stream a lot more reliable. And we're going to keep taking the donations you guys so humbly give us.
The building fund. Hey, we need money on the building fund. You motherfuckers know about the building fund. Building fund. We need some money for the building fund, man. Kick in. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
If the Raiders could build a $2 billion stadium, we can get an air conditioner in this studio.
Hey, man. Hey, if there was another podcast that can do 15,000 for a sporting event, then y'all can do one for the studio of the Crow's Nest podcast. Right. $1,000.
Maybe
we should start putting customized bricks on the wall in the studio like the Raiders did outside the
stadium. Hey, you might be onto something, dog. Hey. Get your name.
You get your brick, baby. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you didn't get to sign the sign. If you sign the sign, kick in.
Yeah,
we need you, baby. We need you.
I got a brick chimney. Maybe we can start. We got to replace some of those because of the '89 earthquake took that chimney out.
Damn.
Maybe we'll start there. Oh yeah, I'll show you next time you're here, Bobby. There's cracks all the way around that chimney.
You guys
check this out. All the signatures that's on our sign that says Pillaging Podcast behind my boy Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Donate $1. Donate $1. $1 of your life ain't too much to ask for.
And that's all we
get $1 for each one of these signatures on this sign.
Oh man,
get $1. Then we'll be good.
I got one better, Kane. If you didn't sign this, $1.
Right.
You didn't sign this, $1. But no, that's all we ask, and we humbly ask $1 an episode if you can do it. Cool. If you can't, repay us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's reset that. Next week we're going to be giving away that Bo Jackson painting, painted by yours truly, Mr. Chase Stradamus, right here, in the top right corner of your screen. Yep. All you got to do is tune into next week's show, take a screenshot of you in the chat, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. Post a screenshot to Twitter, Instagram, or email it to us at pillagingjust4fun@gmail. And make sure you use the hashtag PJ4F. If you haven't done all those things, you will not qualify. All entrants will be randomized and entered into a pool and will be selected on air. And we will ship this bad boy out to you promptly. We will even sanitize it for you. Yeah, by dipping it in beer. That's how we're gonna do it.
Hey, let's show the other Raider podcast that y'all support. You Raider podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Raider Rich. Pillaging. Thanks for the donation, bro.
Hey,
appreciate that. There's a lot of you out there. Some of you are very generous. Some of you give what you can. I'll tell you this right now. It all adds up. We've been able to do everything that we've done on the show because of you guys. Everything. You know, just getting on air costs money. So we really appreciate that. It's made things great.
See, without them, bro, just tell them. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Without them, we would not be able to do it.
Hey, Sean made a very good suggestion. He said maybe we should be moving different types of bricks so we could pay for a whole goddamn studio and the van.
Well, shit, hey, come. Hey, if you gonna provide the bricks, then baby, come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? We might have a Panacha Rural, you know what I'm saying, thing going on right here. I might be able to help you produce them bricks. You know what I mean? I'm from Oakland, baby. I know a lot of motherfuckers that can help you get some bricks out here, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Sean, man.
Hey,
Sean.
and on that note, shout out to your boy Nup, bro. Shout out to your boy Nup out there doing the damn thing in Oakland, bro.
Hey,
okay.
Shout out to the doc. Thank you very much, sir. Sean, you know I left that life a long time ago, bro, but you do raise some valid points, and maybe Kane's right. Maybe it's time to dip back into that life a little bit. Oh man.
Hey, Jay-Z didn't make it. Jay-Z didn't make it to where he was today without that element in his life. You know what I mean?
Just remember how I said in Half Baked, it's fundraising.
Hey, hey,
call me Freeway Kenny Stapler by the end of the show. Moving them birds.
Woo! Yeah.
Got a couple chickens in the trunk right now. Shit. Man, let's do some shout outs, man. Shout out to Cass Gibney. Shout out to John Devine. Shout out to Jeremy Weed, Mauricio Marquez. Shout out to Matthew Wilson, Wayne Millington, Edgar Lopez, and Michael NorCal Raider. Shout out to all of you guys helping us become one of the top 3 Raider podcasts in the world. Number 2, come from that number 1 spot. Scott Barham, come for that tie, bro. Make sure to bang that thumb and smash
Cody. We coming for we better than Raider.
It really helps out. Again, like and subscribe on here. You know, if you've ever stayed to the very end of a Raider game, no matter what the outcome was, hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean?
Yep. If you've ever thrown up in the bathroom trough, hit that subscribe button. I should hit that button twice.
Hey, before you think about your next cheeseburger, think about Pillaging Podcast subscribe button. When you buy a cheeseburger, click that subscribe button. For me, Kane. You know what I'm saying? Cheeseburger. They call me cheeseburger. Every time you eat a cheeseburger, click that motherfucking subscribe, and we love you, baby. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you ever spit on a Chiefs fan on the Bart Bridge, hit that subscribe button. Hey, shout out to Pete, man. Pete, thank you very much, dog.
And the doc, man. Good doc, bro.
And good doc, man. Anyways, that's it for this week's show. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always by
your boy Chet,
your boy Kane. What's up?
And Bobby Wasabi.
And that's it. Stay safe, everyone. Until next week, keep the rum in your mug and the wind in your sails. And Pillage on, Raider Nation. We out here. Peace. Go Raiders.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down. With your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see. They all lay their money down. When you're gone, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, gone. When the sky is gray and the night sets in, it's your cue to do it all again. Until the next time I hear your name, or right beside you, now my thoughts are rumbling. When you're gone, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone.